What's going on, everybody? I forgot Hack No Cap at there at that holy shit at the end. So, yep, playing us in Hack No Cap, Punk and Pretty Girls. How's everybody doing out there? Saturday night, 28th of September. Dave is back. What's up, Dave?
I'm back. I was busy yesterday.
In the face yesterday.
Yeah.
But how was boxing?
It was good. Normal. Just a lot of them at work. So
have you been going weekly again?
Trying to, yeah.
Trying to. That's good. David is a dangerous man. He can beat you up. But overall, how's it going, everybody? We're back again. Like I said, I'm gonna stop doing the preamble that we're gonna be doing this more often, but this might be the last one. We'll be here. It's Saturday. Nate, we see you're here cleaning up another Saturday. What's up, my brother?
Tide is rolling right now.
Yes, the tide is rolling red. Jesus, they are running up on Georgia.
They're killing Georgia. And
it's hilarious too because ESPN put out Georgia's 21 or 22-0 the past few years against.
They cursed them.
They cursed them. And if you're a college football fan, right now Bama is beating the shit out of Georgia. But you know what we're gonna get next on ESPN? Oh, is Alabama back?
Yeah.
Are they back? And all of a sudden, Bama's gonna go to number one automatically because they just outclassed Georgia. That's what's gonna happen. It's so predictable. When any of them are good, automatically they're number one because it's SEC. But I digress. That's what's going on there. We give a little mini update to you guys on if you're interested in college football. But we are here talking about the fun stuff. Appreciate everyone that's watching on X, on Facebook, on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, give us a like. Go to that little thumbs up button. Press on that. Also, click subscribe and make sure that you're here with us nightly as we come in. And if you're on X, give us a repost, give us a comment on there. And if you're on Facebook, go follow our page and share it so that other people can see that we're here. So we appreciate all of you. You picked Alabama to win too, Nate. Good job. It was kind of a toss-up going into it because we didn't know. Georgia's looked okay. Bama's looked good. Yeah. And we thought it was just going to be juggernauts. But, Bama's Bama, man. It doesn't matter if Saban's there or not. They're just going to be freaking good because that's what they are. So we're going to jump in to the fun stuff of the show, the meat and potatoes. We'll talk some college football in a little bit. But we're going to get right into gaming news right now, Dave. Because anyone that's gaming right now, this kind of coincides with the PlayStation Pro coming out, the PlayStation 5 Pro, where it's a fully digital console. Mm-hmm. And Dave, you found this article from PC Gamer. So
so it's actually PC World.
PC World. So it's actually a clean.
Yeah, you just made me small for no reason.
You're always small.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do the work.
I don't know.
So it's from PC World, and it's not anything necessarily new. No. This article came about because GOG delisted 29 games this month, and really, this article is going over why games can be delisted. Which is crazy, though. Did GOG let people know it was getting delisted? Because GOG is well known for you're able to download the games you buy. I'm not. Well, that's the thing. And GOG even came out and said that in a tweet that's in the other article. But mainly, this article is just about going over why games can be delisted. Yep. The fact that you actually buy the license to the game, you don't actually own the game itself. So this article is a good jumping off point, especially the PS5 Pro and everything going digital, for you to for it to be pounded into gamers' heads that any game that you buy digitally can be taken, basically be taken. And if it's an old game and people aren't playing it anymore, it's not worth it for companies to keep that, especially the multiplayer, running anymore. If it's a game that's connected online, even single player, you're screwed. Which is part of why even when the single player has to be online in order for it to be played is honestly bad in my part. I hate that. I want offline. I want offline gameplay.
And that's a crazy thing that we don't get that offline gameplay. That is,
you still can for a decent amount of games.
Yes, for a decent amount.
But too many have to be connected to Wi-Fi or to the internet in some type of way.
And especially live service becoming a big thing, it's going to be, if the more games go live service, the more games you're going to be forced to have an internet connection. And that is no bueno.
Yeah. So like I said, this article just mainly goes over licensing and everything about that. And it's just a very good, a decent overview of how that stuff can happen. But this one is a more interesting one.
And, quick aside to that, it's something that has been, if you're in this kind of space, if you like, we talk about them, but Geeks and Gamers, side scrollers, Yellow Flash, those guys, and Razor Fist, they're very much on the physical media. They buy digital, don't get me wrong, they get digital downloads because that's kind of the way it is, especially if you're a streamer, you grab them right away, you get the physicals when you can. But they've been very big on getting your hands on physical things because of this reason, because it's not the first time we've seen digital media. We see them with movies all the time, often. Netflix does it here, this in and it's out. And if you buy things, we have the Movies Anywhere, which, was big with your DVDs for a while. You'd have the slip for Movies Anywhere, so you can go and get digital on your smart TV, as well as having that physical copy.
Yeah.
If you got rid of that DVD, considering, I just have it on Movies Anywhere. If Movies Anywhere gets rid of that, they can do it in a heartbeat. It doesn't matter that you paid for it. So it's something that has been on the radar and has been on the mind of a lot of gamers and a lot of people. And it's, Some Ordinary Gamer is all about the subject. I've heard of Some Ordinary Gamer.
Yeah.
It's all about this subject. And it's true. It's true. Emulators for the win. Don't let Nintendo hear you say that, Nate. You're gonna get
you're fine. It's the people who make the emulator are gonna get hurt. But
this, Dave.
California did something that actually seems like it's a decent law, surprisingly. And now I'm taking this article at face value. Maybe the law is not great if you actually dig into it. But the new California law mainly makes companies have to say that you're not actually buying and owning the thing. Like they can't say they can't use the language buy and own the game, because that's not what you're doing, because they can take it away. But they also have this, and they also have a couple other things. Affirmative acknowledgement of your transaction, clear and conspicuous warning that this can be taken away from you. The digital product in question is free. Then it's not that big of a deal, to be quite honest, because you didn't pay money for it. But the digital product offers a permanent offline download to an external storage source to be used without a connection to the internet. And that's pretty cool.
Yes.
That is
pretty cool.
That is good. At least I like that. So this California law doesn't really, a lot of it doesn't necessarily help gamers. It's just a way for companies to be able to say, like, this is our reasoning for being able to take it away.
Yeah.
And they're giving you a warning for it. But a lot of people don't read warnings whenever they do things, which, I mean, that's just normal. We just don't do it because it's usually has too much verbiage in there for us to want to read through or even understand necessarily. But this California law at least does a little bit of something, as much as it can do, because honestly, you can't even do too much in order to be able to keep games unless you buy the physical media itself. Yeah.
So this is a very interesting law, and things that it says. I encourage anyone and everyone to go and read up on the law, and especially if you're in California, to see what it says, because it is very interesting. And like you said, Dave, there's a lot of interesting parts in it. Dave, make sure you send me this article so that I can put it in the show notes so that people have access to it. So make sure you send that to me.
No.
The Pokemon on emulator is so fun. Yeah, Pokemon emulator is awesome. It's really cool. So real quick, as we switch gears real quick, Dave, are you done on that topic?
For the most part, I mean, there's not really that much more to say. Buy physical, understand that this is a possibility. I mean, look what happened with Concord. Maybe the game kind of deserved it in an aspect, but look at what happened to Concord. Concord's gone. You cannot play that game at all. No matter, even if you don't want to play it, doesn't matter. Anyone who wants to, even wants to see anything about it, can't anymore. So it's just something to know as a gamer, and it's something a lot of gamers, at least that have a PC, most likely know.
Yes.
But it's always good to just re-up this.
It is good. It's always good to bring that up every once in a while, make sure that we keep people aware. Now, I'm going to do something that may be stupid, as we're live streaming here, but I'm going to direct people to go and do a quick aside to another quick live stream, because right now, the Politically Incorrect Knitters is doing, I think they're finishing off a little fundraiser that any super chats that you give, and I'll pull it up in a second, any super chats that you give to this stream, where they're currently doing like a knitting competition live on stream, any super chats you give will go to letthemlive.org, which is an organization providing money to help mothers choose life over abortion. So real quick, I'm going to take you over to the tweet so you guys could see where to go for the tweet, and then we will see. I'll take you real quickly over to there. So this is the tweet real quick. It is Anna Pinkava, if you want to go search for her, at Annie Pinkava, Annie_Pinkava. I can't say words.
Having a lot of trouble. And if you go onto this exact tweet, scroll down, our boy Epic Mike is co-hosting it. That's why I want to get it over there. You'll see right here, here's the YouTube, and that YouTube's, boom, will be right here. We'll go take a quick live look at what is going on. Stream snipe him?
Yeah, we're gonna stream snipe him just so we can give him a nice little shout out. Boom, and let's throw on.
There's a whole bunch of people over there.
There's a whole bunch of people. Let's throw on some sound here because I haven't muted. Unmute.
Did not unmute it.
Polar oxen or some shit.
No,
it's ridiculous.
It's equitably sourced because they don't shear the ox. He
There's so much concentration going on.
So much, and they're just knitting and they're knitting blankets, I believe. So if you guys, anyone watching here, I will direct you.
Whatever.
Quickly jump over there.
You gave me like a little bit of that to spin, and it was absolutely lovely. And I made a hat with it, and then I lost.
And anything that he's involved with, anything he's co-hosting,
of course,
go save some babies.
Acrylic is easy care. I think all of us are working with acrylic.
Acrylic. Yeah,
maybe.
I wish.
You're working on that there. So I'm always.
You're good.
All right, good. So
yeah.
I could still hear it on my end when I stopped there. So I was like, can they still hear it? But yeah, no.
Right.
Everyone, I encourage you guys jumping over there real quick. Go donate. Come back for a great cause. So I just wanted to do that quick shout out over there. So, Dave, where do we want to go next? You want to keep on some of the gaming stuff?
Wherever you want to go.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's go over to Mercanti and Smash JT. Okay. Because Alyssa Mercanti strikes again. So for those of you that don't know who Alyssa Mercanti is, she is a Kotaku editor, right, Dave? That is, she's an editor over at Kotaku, and
she
is a fucking psycho.
I think didn't she get head editor? Hold up.
I think she did get head editor, and Craig was trying to be her boss at one point.
People were like quitting or something like that. I thought she got head editor. I might be wrong. She works at Kotaku.
She works at Kotaku. She's in a position of power at Kotaku. Yeah. That is the best way to put it. And I mean, for those that don't know, a little while ago, like there's been on and off with her and Grums and her and like Smash and even anyone in that space, G&G. And not too long ago, she made a video threatening to physically fight them, bitch.
Senior editor.
And Vera Dark offered to fight her. They never fought. Because I don't think Alyssa wants to fight anybody. But recently, in order to have people stop besmirching her, she has decided to go and start suing YouTube streamers. And one of the people that is in her crosshairs is someone who has been doing actually a lot of really great journalism work, Smash JT over there, and she sent him a cease and desist. Shit queen on Otaku. Thank you, Nate. But so we're going to take a look real quick on the Smash JT website over here. Boop, 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 if I could ever do things correctly.
See, I saw some stuff about this, but I really didn't look into it much because I just know it's going to get BTFO'd, especially because Smash has Ron Coleman.
Yes, and Ron Coleman jumped in. We fucking love Ron Coleman. We've had him on the show before. We got to have Ron back on now that it's live. Yes. Ron's got to come back on. But all right, so but Alyssa Mercanti has escalated her proposed vendetta against me by sending me a cease and desist. Her personal.
Do you Beardo? What's going on?
I met Beardo and Craig had a baby. Cease and desist letter through her lawyer, quote unquote. Letter accuses him of defamation, harassment, demanding retraction, apology in their own words. Blah blah blah. Okay, so he has this whole thing here. So let's read this defamation and harassment of our client, Alyssa Mercanti. Jeff, we write you today as counsel for Alyssa Mercanti. You have made unlawfully harassing and/or defamatory statements about Alyssa. We are writing to request that you voluntarily retract them and publish an apology, the language of which we will suggest to you, but before we pursue other legal avenues against you. Now, mind you, and Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I know you're in on this. Everything that Smash basically has done has been taking their own words and putting it on his website and articles, taking their own videos, putting it on websites. outside of maybe making fun of her a little bit, which is whatever, it's the internet, you're a public figure, he has not taken her words out of context. He has done journalism by the books, but something Alyssa Mercanti, claims to be.
Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure. I'm not certain, obviously, but I'm pretty sure that's generally what he does.
Yeah.
But even then, these types of things, when it comes to defamation, it is not something that's simple to just prove and just win.
Now, I wonder if Kotaku's throwing their full money behind her to do that.
I doubt it. Mainly because I actually have the lawyer, his Twitter pulled up,
which is hilarious. I want to go through a little more of the cease and desist.
Yeah,
because apparently the language is like the language of a 6-year-old. One, your statements which are defamatory to Alyssa. On or around March 30th, 2024, you tweeted horrification. What's that? Like what Alyssa Mercanti does, sucking dicks in her off time for money. You then repeated the claim on April 1st, 2024, tweeting, how do I put this in a way that you'd grasp? The Amico was about as much fun as sucking 20 dicks in a row, but instead of being paid for it, I paid $10K to do it. In response to one of Alyssa's tweets, that's in bold. You then published a video on YouTube, April 4th, 2024, in which you said, Alyssa Mercanti has since come forward, stating that she used to be a sex worker, sucking dicks for money before working for Kotaku. You repeated this statement on YouTube on May 1st, 2024, 5 and May 3, May 5? I don't know what the 5 is. And May 3rd, 2024, as well as on your website. Now, Smash, if you go on smashjt.com, he also has a response to this on there, in which I'm not pulling up because it has Alyssa Mercanti's gross ass on it. But there are things that she posted saying she was a sex worker. That's her own words that Smash is saying. And she was a sex worker.
And that's what makes this so ridiculous and so out of pocket. It's just a way to try to threaten and try to make someone shut up. Because the thing is, to prove that Smash is going out of his way to basically completely destroy her is not there. Like, you need a lot of proof for that to be there. Because, like, even if she didn't necessarily say she was a sex worker, if she even alluded to that type of thing, him saying that in a manner doesn't just put him on a cross. Otherwise, a lot of people making any type of jokes in any way would be fucked legally if that were a possibility.
And so here, let's read these bold statements. I find some of these bold ones hilarious. We'll scan through them. So they say the statements are false. Alyssa has never come forward stating that she has engaged in the conduct you claim, and saying she
didn't suck dick apparently. So
you were aware of them when you made these. She claimed to be a sex worker, though.
Yeah,
she said, "I will go back to being a sex worker." So that is very obvious in that statement. You could listen, if you're not being specific as what type of quote unquote sex worker you are, you don't have to claim and say what you're doing.
Yes,
we can then make assertions. And if you came out and said, hey, I'm just a nude OnlyFans model, that is my type of sex work I do, boom, you have now made it clear. I don't remember her ever making that clear. So, boom, because commenting on Alyssa and her work has proven so lucrative for you, this is incentive for you to continually up the ante in your criticism of her. And let's remind everyone, the criticisms that Smash JT initially was claiming on her was when she was talking about the DEI woke bullshit and how positive it is, LGBTQ stuff. And he was critical of it in articles that she had published. And this bitch brought it upon herself as she challenged everyone to a physical fight. You can't take some words. You want to physically fight people, but when they start saying things about you, now you got to send them a cease and desist. I mean, let's keep going here. Let's keep going a little bit with some of this stuff.
Look at that bold right there. Intend to injure her in her field of work by suggesting that she is unprofessional. That's the whole point of this lawsuit. It's because that she is facing all this criticism, all this stuff that is making her seem unprofessional. So that is, and the whole claim, most likely, I didn't read it, but the whole claim is probably because you are defaming her, she might lose out on her life and on her life's work. Now, that's a high bar to cross. That is a high bar.
Here we are, Dave. This is fun. This is what they suggest how Smash JT should apologize. So I have never seen a fucking cease and desist that tells you how you should apologize. So
to be fair, I don't look at cease and desist very much. So I don't know.
It was wrong for me to suggest that Alyssa Mercante has engaged in sexual contact for money. Contact? Okay, contact. They suck. I let my rhetoric get away from me, and I did so hoping to inflame you, my audience. I apologize for spreading lies about Alyssa and for doing so to manipulate you, my viewers. Fuck you. Fuck you. If I'm Smash, and I'm pretty sure Smash told them to fuck themselves. Well, fuck you. Number one, if I'm going to apologize, I'm going to apologize how I want. Number one, you're not going to tell me how to apologize. And number two, what type of that's not even a professional apology. You're a lawyer? No, and you're asking me to help you like that?
No. So look at the I think it's the second line, third line mainly. Look at the third line. I apologize for spreading lies about Alyssa and for doing so to manipulate you, my viewers. That's the whole purpose of it. The whole purpose is to make Smash look like all he wants to do as a channel, all of his work is meant to manipulate people. That's the purpose of that apology right there. It gets Alyssa her apology, whatever, but the whole purpose of writing that out is for him to say, I'm a manipulator, that's what I do. That's what they want him to do. That's what they would like him to do, just for his reputation to be slashed completely and for him not to have any credence on what he says.
Here's the bullshit rub right here too, because they're talking about Smash JT using her full name. Here's the difference. Smash has went on to say, and he was a little bit frantic when he came on when they were trying to dox him and things like that. And he said, listen, using my full name could hurt me because he goes by Smash JT. He has an alias. Well, Alyssa Mercante goes by Alyssa Mercante. Using her name, Alyssa Mercante, does not raise her level of threat at all or open her up to harassment because in her professional name, that is what it is. So by saying Alyssa Mercante, it is not. It is not. And here's the thing. Bully Alyssa into silence and off the internet. No one's trying to bully her into silence and off the internet. No. If you say fucking something stupid, we're allowed to criticize you. If you publish something stupid, we are allowed to criticize you.
It's a meme of the woman throwing shit over the wall, the comic, and then they're yelling misogyny as it gets thrown back at her.
This is even better because their problem isn't with Smash JT. Their problem's with Kiwi Farms.
Yeah, everyone's problems with Kiwi Farms.
So
everyone's problem goes back to Kiwi
to apologize for doing something that led to Kiwi Farms doing something. Fuck you, take it up with Kiwi Farms. That's not Smash.
Good fucking luck if you take it up with Kiwi Farms.
They win everything.
I would love that if you tried to do that.
Everything. Oh my God.
I mean, Josh Moon Noel doesn't need any of that. He doesn't need any more of that, but I mean, that's his life now. So it would be hilarious if Alyssa tried something.
So, as you stated yourself, the internet is ruthless. However, you feel about our attempts to dissuade Kiwi Farms from pursuing its own misguided course of action. Let us be clear. Any attempt by you to use this communication to drum up sympathy for yourself or continue to harass Alyssa by exposing her to the ruthlessness of your audience, any statements by you that she should feel the consequences of trying to silence, you will be taken as intentional attempts to inflict emotional distress upon Alyssa and could expose you to further legal liability. So either these aren't lawyers, number one, or they are just fucking leftists because they are using this victimhood mentality right here.
He's probably a lawyer. So the best part about this is these are just cry bullies. This is what they do all the time. The same people that will call you every ist and ism, things that used to get you persecuted in society, not anymore because they've lost their weight because they use it so much, but things that would actually have undue emotional stress on someone if they were called that and people actually believed it. They would throw that around like nothing, but they're mad at you when you say anything about them.
I need to read this whole paragraph. Jeff, we are not asking you to never comment about Alyssa again. We are not asking that you never say mean things about her or that you never react negatively to something she writes or a tweet she makes or a comment pejoratively about her. We are asking that you confine such activities to the right side of the law. That is not meant to silence you. It is meant to keep us from having to take you to court for the damages you cause. We are giving you an exit ramp. Prudence counsels you take it. Are you serious?
It's such a weirdly threatening document.
It is. It sounds like a mafia person trying to shake them up.
It's like I feel like this document should have ended a long time ago.
I mean, we
shouldn't still be reading. Like it should. We should have been done with this by now.
In conclusion, this matter ends if you publish a retraction and apology as stated above, containing all of the information we have requested here. and you promise to you pinky promise, Jeff, JT, pinky promise, and to confine your future commentary on Alyssa to a strictly non-defamatory and non-harassing, aka whatever the fuck Alyssa defines that is. Mm-hmm. Anything that she finds offensive is now, if you get offended, which is in their leftist ideology, if I'm offended, it's now illegal. If you do so, this matter ends here, and we need not trouble each other anymore. If, on the other hand, you continue your flippancy and disregard of our more than reasonable request, you, of course, they're always reasonable. You're the one in the wrong.
Yeah.
You will find out that there are legal consequences of saying unlawful things on the internet. We'll pursue all legal remedies against you, from protective orders, injunctions, and lawsuits of defamation, harassment, invasion of privacy, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and other torts in court of competent jurisdiction. Now, I want to do this last part, Dave. Yeah. Because this last part, just highlight this crazy. And tell you, and just honestly, just bring this to the judge and be like, these people can fuck off. Yeah, you are a family man yourself. Imagine your family in this situation. That's a flat out threat. That is a flat out threat.
That's a nice business you got here. Could use a little protection.
Want to happen? With a little empathy, you can settle this fracas and we can all move on with our lives. It's time you made the smart choice for once. Do the right thing. This is 100% a shakeup. And this is an attempt to threaten. Oh, here we go. He included some of this stuff. Okay, ready? I used to write a sex blog when I was in a Boston bar looking for content, talking to an Olympic swimmer. Shakira's song was playing in a music video, blah, blah, blah. Unemployment, she's kind of fat, so I decided to sue, but I knew it was bad. Begging me to take it down, asking if I really did. Like, she writes about dumb shit. And I kind of want to go to his retort to show you guys some of the sex work stuff.
Well, no, I don't want to see. I don't want to see.
So we're not going to do that. But
here's the lawyer.
So Dave, throw that up.
Here is the lawyer's Twitter.
Oh my God.
He is his posts are protected. I wonder why.
Oh.
But he protected his posts because he posts insane shit. Because yet again, leftists, that's all they do. Going to start a GoFundMe to dox the shit out of some people and have me show up on their doorstep and kick them in the dick who's with me. Just kick them over and over and over again until they barf up blood on my shoes, then stamp a bloody boot print right on their big dumb faces.
Fun fact, it's not like this is younger me was dumb. This is last month. Yes. He wrote this.
Yes.
And this whole trial and tribulation started last month, which is hilarious because the first attempt at a cease and desist, or just when I think these lawyers informed Smash that something was going to occur, because I remember Craig talking about it on Side Scores and Smash came on. This is fucking wild, Dave. And I'm happy Ron jumped onto this, that Ron Coleman's going on. I think actually, let me go look real quick. So I think Smash, we can go to a safe part where Smash has Ron's statement.
Yeah, Ron probably eviscerates it.
I mean, you know what? If I'm Smash, I'm saying, Ron, let's do this. Let's fucking do this. Because these people.
The thing is, I doubt it'll go to anything. Because most of the time, I don't think it was. I don't know if it was Alyssa. Someone tried this already. Tried something like this recently. I can't remember. There was some type of lawsuit being thrown around that I believe Ron jumped on. But that Park Place, Black Girl Gamers tried to sue that Park Place. I think it was a cease and desist. It might have been. I can't remember. It was something like that. But they sent one to that Park Place. Ron jumped on that, if I remember correctly. Destroyed the whole document just on a podcast. He destroyed the document, and it never. I'm pretty sure it never actually went along because it would waste their money, and they wouldn't be able to win that, and they know that. The whole purpose is the threat. That's the whole purpose of it.
So we're gonna work this out so we don't see her gross ass, but
it's to elicit the power over you that they thought they had, that you said, no, we're just on even playing fields and I can say shit to you.
So keep in mind, in that professional cease and desist, Alyssa Mercanti never stated she was a sex worker, right? Yeah. Alyssa Mercanti, 12/21/23. I'm just going to go back to sex
work. I forgot you said when I get fucked.
When I get fucked a lot, I'll get paid well for it. Happy International Whores Day. I used to be a cam girl. Sex work is work. You're not fucking feminist if your feminist doesn't include sex workers, you absolute toenail. On God, if I ever get fired, I'm going back to bartending and sex work. Fuck this.
Holy shit.
Okay, so she never admitted it. Right there. Internet is forever. You
didn't even need the other tweets. The first tweet.
So we're gonna.
The first tweet's the one that just settles it right there. She said she got fucked for money. So okay, there you go.
So now let's go. And boop boop boop. The smash goes through how she DM'd his fucking wife.
Yes.
Let's keep going here.
Look, just like everyone else of that ideology, they will do.
Ron represented Black Place with Black Girl Gaming shutting down Ludicrous C&D in record time. Okay, go ahead.
There you go. But like, just like anyone else in that who's paying to see that nasty hoe, guys pay for fucking everything, dude. It's insane.
So let's bring that
only to be a slightly mid woman on the internet. And imagine the money.
Alyssa was decent looking when she wasn't a fucking crazy ass leftist. And the thing is, I don't care if you have a fantastic ass and a great body. If you're a stupid bitch, you're not good looking anymore. Like, I don't care.
You lose your luster.
Like, let's be honest. AOC is fucking hot, but AOC is a retard. So no one thinks she's that good looking, and on our side at least.
Well, I mean, I don't want to trespass on Alex Stein's girl.
Hey, big booty Latinas.
I'm not going to say anything. Yeah.
So real quick, Nate coming in. She also has to have a reputation to ruin. She can't get any lower.
Yeah.
And Yuck, who's paying to see that? Nate, I could show you her ass if I scroll up a little.
Don't do that.
But okay, now we're going to talk about Ron Coleman response to that cease and desist. So, dear sirs, we represent Jeff Tarzia and write in response to your correspondence September 8th, 2024. We will not rebut your assertions point by point. None of the statements you attribute to Mr. Tarzia in section 1 of your letter is defamatory under New York or California law because they are either true or are protected opinion or polemic. Additionally, your speculation as to what Mr. Tarzia knew, what motivated any comments he had made, and the financial operation of Mr. Tarzia's social media are incorrect and baseless. What, Dave?
This is correct, by the way. That's a correct statement.
And here we go. So let's keep going.
No, I'm saying Nate G's statement and Paulina Luna over AOC. That's correct.
Yeah. Hey, listen, but they're both smoke shows. I'm sorry. I don't like AOC. I think she's a dumbass. She's fucking hot. She's got mommy milkers. We cannot deny that. Okay, she's got mommy milkers, just like Nancy Mace got some mommy milkers. But still, all right, let's keep going. For these reasons and many others, your assertion that Mrs. Mercanti would prevail if this matter were taken to court is not only unfounded, but is a transparently empty threat. In fact, as you are doubtless aware, if these claims are litigated in either New York or California, they would not only be dismissed, but it is your client who would be exposed to potential liability under the anti-SLAPP laws in both states. The harassment claims, and the harassment's in quotes, claims described in section 2 of your letter are just as meritless. A daisy chain of fallacious reasoning, both legal and factual, undergirded by yet more speculation about Mr. Tarzia's mindset and activities, and an overblown depiction of a centrality of your client to his work. Mr. Tarzia bears no responsibility, moreover, for any harm your client may have suffered as a result of Kiwi Farms. Your client's ire and her lawyer's condescending letters should be directed to that entity, not to Mr. Tarzia, who Ron would probably take up defending them as well, and they would hate him.
He would no. Josh Moonez is on lawyers.
Oh, that's fine. They still got a good one. So your demands in some are rejected. There will be no apologies or retractions from Mr. Tarzia to your client. There will also be no further personal, ethical, or career advice, much less veiled references to our client's family, which are not well taken. From your office to Mr. Tarzia, all further correspondences and communications concerning this matter are to be addressed to me. Very truly yours, Ronald D. Coleman. And that is how a professional lawyer takes care of things.
Yeah. It's an embarrassment. It's a power play. And obviously Ron wrote that as just saying, like, fuck off. Like, This is very obvious what this is. Go away. Because you will get fucking throttled in court. You'll lose all your goddamn money just to do nothing.
And here's the thing, though, and I love Ron Coleman. Now, Ron Coleman takes up great causes. But where are these lawyers in bigger causes? Smash JT is a great cause. And what they're doing, what they're trying to do in the gaming space for Black Girls Gamer, to that Park Place with John Trent, and what's going on here. Yes, they are important to the culture aspect, right? But there's huge causes that, Ron is a lawyer for Dylan Law, for Harmeet Dillon. Mm-hmm. There are so many big things going on in this country that are illegal with the election and things like that, and things that can be unfolded. I really wish the expertise, and I don't know if Ron's doing things behind the scenes.
Probably. I don't want to state too much.
I don't want to state.
Yeah.
Because maybe they're not publicly coming out and saying what they're fighting, and they're just trying to win, and they'll come out with it. Mm-hmm. But we have great absolutely some of the best legal minds on our side.
Yeah,
with Barnes and Dillon and Coleman and so many others.
Well, I might throw Barnes out of there at that point. At this point, it is.
I mean,
Barnes hasn't been the greatest recently, but
you know what? People go on slumps, okay?
he's bringing himself on the slump. It's pretty bad. Okay, I'm sorry.
Barnes has been pretty good, though, historically. But again, we've had some great legal minds on our side, and I really just want to see them go at the left, because the left, yes, they have some good lawyers, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them are just eating the leftist ideology.
It's persistent lawyers.
They're persistent, and they will constantly go after. And maybe this is a good first step, because before, our best lawyers on the right wouldn't go after these minor things. So maybe this is a good step that they are stepping in, and a high-profile lawyer like Ron Coleman is doing this when he doesn't have to necessarily work with Smash JT. Smash JT is just a YouTuber, right? So maybe this is a good thing, because the leftists, even the high-profile ones, come down, right? And they battle. Mm-hmm. So maybe this is a good sign. But, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy to see this. This is going to go nowhere. Smash is, if they go further, they will regret it, because then it'll get to some sort of discovery, and then Smash will make money. And
she just gave him more content. And I mean, that could be another part of it, that she kind of wanted more fame, but I don't necessarily like, she's dumb enough to try to make that play to be like, get her name out in the media space again. But I just don't think it's a smart idea to get your name out in that way. She
challenged everyone to mutual combat.
Yeah.
She challenged people to mutual combat. She's mentally unstable, okay? Maybe she completed
this is what I'm referencing.
I know. For Nick Cicada.
It's pretty bad.
There's probably a friendship there, and that's
pretty bad.
Why. And
it's pretty bad.
Barnes is, if anything, Barnes is loyal. So there's possibly a friendship. I don't know. It's listen, it is what it is. We'll see what goes on.
Yeah.
We'll see what goes on. Maybe Barnes knows something about the law that we don't, and about what went on. Maybe he knows more to the story than we know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know
about that.
All right, let's shift gears. We're going to do something that could go fairly quick. I actually did not listen to this. I kind of saw the headline, but Zachary Levi being fucking based. Zachary Levi.
I didn't watch it, but I saw.
I didn't watch it. I'm willing. Shut up, Zachary Levi and X.
I read the quote.
And I'm willing to go. Now, this is 1 minute and 46 seconds. Let me get this.
Yeah, let it go.
And we're going to let it go. Now, here's the thing. I didn't always agree with Zachary Levi. Zachary Levi was a very big RFK supporter. And I'm not really an RFK guy. I think RFK kind of sucks. But since then, he has shifted to Donald Trump. Okay. And right on stage, there's RFK, there's Tulsi Gabbard, and he's talking to both of them on this stage. So let's pull this full screen and let's listen in. Let's see what he has to say.
But the thing I wanted to say, and this is to Bobby's point, we are, and you all know this, we are being inundated every single day with poison, not just in the foods that we're eating and not just in the pharmaceuticals that are being shoved down our throats. In the images that we are looking at, the audio that we are hearing through our media, we are being poisoned and lied to. And hear me. We're all being poisoned and lied to. So as we go to the polls, as you guys and your passion and your fervor and wanting to get Donald Trump reelected, and recognizing that that is the thing that we need to do, recognize that all of the people on the other side that still believe that Kamala is the answer. They're not.
This is very similar to the Bernie bros.
She's not. But
we could be getting that.
They are being lied to.
That pushes Trump. It pushes Trump.
They are not the enemy. They are not evil. There is evil at the top of that food chain. But the American people that believe that Kamala is the way, they are not evil people. They have been lied to, and they have eaten that lie, and it is in them. So to the best that we can do, may we practice grace.
That's crazy. I don't even recognize.
Maybe practice forgiveness. Maybe practice patience.
His facial hair
so that as we go to the polls, as we talk to our friends and our family, and we encourage people to go and look,
we have the same.
Do not be baited into their attacks. Do not go and be what they want you to be. Instead, hold your ground in dignity and integrity and in love, and say, hey, I understand that you might feel this way. Let's have a conversation. And if you're unwilling to have a conversation, then we don't have to have a conversation. But don't get baited into their hate, because that's what they want you to do. And that will not help us get to a better world, right? So that's all I wanted to say on that.
That's really good.
That was really good. Now, Dave, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think for Zachary Levi? Is this a smart move for his career? Because
I think his career was already going downhill.
I think his career was going downhill. Shazam was already going down. Second one bombed.
Yes.
But the thing is, I love the first Shazam too, Nate.
Harold and the Purple Crayon.
It's funny because he didn't fucking do anything for Harold and the Purple Crayon. He just promoted RFK instead. So it's not even like he tried.
But I don't even think they threw marketing behind it.
They didn't throw marketing behind it. And the thing is, it's like, I love that he's standing on principle, and we ask people to stand on principle at all times. And Zachary Levi's putting his money where his mouth is, right?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that maybe David Wire or something can
he'll be fine.
Get him into some movies.
He'll be fine.
Angel Studios can use him.
I think it's better for your soul to be away from Hollywood. Yeah. So he might not be making as much money as he can make, but as long as he's making enough, he probably feels okay not having to deal with somebody.
And you know something, Zachary, I will give you this advice, and it's not helping us because we're in this space, but start a podcast, dude. Like, if you really feel this way, if you've learned that much.
I don't even know if he wants to.
I mean, obviously he's passionate, though. He's sitting there on a political stage with Tulsi Gabbard and RFK, and his Instagram is just inundated with political posts. Mm-hmm. So he's very into this and very into this election. So, I mean, that's the only thing that's concerning for me, is he hasn't had enough of a career to take this turn and be okay. Like Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn's been blackballed for a while because he's come on.
Well, the thing is, if you haven't had enough of a career, then you don't have very much to fall then, right? So it's not necessarily a huge kind of lifestyle change. I
just think of it money-wise. Obviously, he's made a lot of money from the first Shazam and things like that. But it's like part of me, it's like, I get it. For your soul, do what you got to do. But sometimes in like people in that position, and maybe he just sees how fucked Hollywood is and he want to get out anyway, like you said.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like the basketball players, like, get the bag, and then come out. You know what I mean? So here's the thing.
Well, the thing is, are you going to really get the bag?
So Nate says Mark and Sly are doing their own production companies too. Yeah. I know that. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Sly I love because Sly's just base. Sly doesn't give a fuck. He says what he wants. Mark Wahlberg is so wishy-washy. And what annoys me about Mark Wahlberg is his burgers are good. His burgers are delicious. But we know he leans right. He's made it obvious that at the worst he's a libertarian.
Anyone who doesn't say anything politically in Hollywood usually is not a leftist. That's just kind of how it works.
And the thing is, with the movies that he did, with the last one about the priest and redemption, and just the way he puts himself in his own movies, all the things that he's obviously, and he's not coming out and saying the woke things. If you're not, like you said, if you're not even towing that woke line, then usually, and if you're
silent, that means you're not on the left.
I just wish that Mark Wahlberg is in that position to do more. And he's one of those people that's in there to do more, because here's the thing. He's going to start his own production company and he's going to be successful because Mark Wahlberg is one of the more talented actors in Hollywood. So, and he's the type of guy that if his name is attached to a movie, you're going to get millions of people to watch it, good or not.
Yeah.
So he's someone that, and we all know it. Stop tiptoeing around it. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that Mark Wahlberg goes to Friends of Abe meetings, things like that, and he's just like a secret member. Maybe we should ask Matt Kadish, because Matt Kadish went to those. But that's the one thing about Mark Wahlberg. I wish he was just a little more. As like, it's kind of the opposite, right? I kind of wish.
Yeah, I was gonna say. The thing is, kind of gotten a little more. What if he is doing things to help, but he really wouldn't be able to if he was out? You never necessarily know.
No, you don't.
With these types of things. And I will say one thing about what Zachary Levi said, because I like a lot of what he said.
Yes,
but I think that message is a little off, because while the people that have been poisoned in his terminology, they are not evil, but they are more than willing to do evil.
Yes.
So you have to understand that. And you come to them with grace, but there's no problem with coming to them with indifference either. Don't come to them with hate, because it's just like, I follow Jesse Kelly. I think Jesse Kelly's right on a lot of fucking things nowadays. It's just not good. But
his whole show is I'm right with Jesse Kelly.
Yeah. But he put it like he's tweeted out multiple times, the same people that wanted you to get the vaccine, that wanted to mandate you to do it, that wanted you mandate you to do the mask, would throw you out to the fucking wolves. They would 100% put you to death.
Yes, they would.
Possible. They don't care. rat you out immediately. So that's the thing. They themselves are not evil, but they have no problem doing evil.
Tim Pool says a lot, the banality of evil, where they are not evil themselves, but in their participation, they are the banality of evil, where just because you're not the one leading the ring, the fact that you're not pushing back against it, or the fact that you're going along with that, not even not pushing back against it. I don't want to sound like you have to be anti-racist to be racist, right? But the fact that you're doing it and you're going and you are participating in it actively and willingly, whether you know it's evil or not, that puts you in you're a part of that machine. You know, it's one of those, I'm just taking orders as a soldier. We don't accept that, right? Yeah. That is a part of the banality of evil. And these people that maybe knowingly or not are the useful idiots and a part of that banality of evil that is leftism. So yeah, no, it's interesting. And it's interesting about Hollywood. I'm in the more convinced we need to burn Hollywood down, put a fucking giant wall around it and burn it down.
To be fair, it's burning itself down right now. It's burning itself down.
Actually put a wall around, do like a dome like they had in fucking Big O. In Big O or The Simpsons, and just set it on fire and not let anybody out. Like, I'm sorry for all the casualties, but you know what, though? It's the only way. We must raise it because it is a fucking cesspool. There are so many evil people there. And honestly, we'd probably be saving the kids that are involved there because they're going through some gruesome shit in fucking Hollywood.
Man, did you see that like super cut of Bieber being like weirdly violated?
Hear his song?
Which one?
You ever heard his song?
Which one?
When he talked about selling his soul at a Diddy party? Oh, no. I got to find this now.
I don't know if we can play it. But
fuck, I'm going to go see if I can find it on X. I saw it on a reel, and it's a real thing.
I'm not surprised. That's the thing, that none of this is surprising. Absolutely none of it is surprising. And that's the worst part about it.
Who's this from? This is from Freedom Terrorist. I have no idea who the fuck you are.
Who the fuck is Freedom Terrorist?
I don't know, but it's a Bieber song. I wonder if this is real. It says Bieber song.
New beat? Nah, that's not Bieber.
Or maybe it's not new, but
there's no
AI.
This is probably a meme. I was gonna say I heard that like some parts of other songs were weird, but I never heard that. Now then again, I don't necessarily
Justin
care.
Bieber Diddy Party Song 2024 is YouTube Fire List. I wonder if that's.
Yeah, I think you got fooled by AI.
It could be an AI meme,
I think you got fooled by AI, which also would mean that we wouldn't get taken down. But I think you got fooled by AI.
I'll find out. Is the Bieber?
Look, I don't think I said on the show, but I think if someone has 1,000 bottles of baby oil / lotion in their house, no matter if we don't have them caught on any crime, you arrest them anyway. Like, they're immediately arrested. Okay. Death penalty possibly, because you're not doing anything good if you have 1,000 bottles of baby oil. No, I don't care.
The lawyer said.
I don't care. Oh, remember DC Costco come out and say we don't fucking sell that shit?
The lawyer said that it is consensual people having sex, okay? And that what adults do, we cannot become prude. And you know what? Americans just buy in bulk. I talked about this last night, Dave, and I put the picture up of the fucking of the bathroom lined.
Selling your hole at a Diddy party, and it is.
Listen, it's gross. And
well, look.
Here's the thing. This video needs to be the unifying factor of this country, right?
The video of Usher and Diddy being all sweaty and them saying, I think what they say they did, they said they did something, and it was like so stupid. They did it. It's very obvious Usher was
one of the people that got passed around at parties.
Yeah.
On the come up, it's dudes like Diddy and fucking apparently like some of like the moguls in rap in New York.
Yeah,
are the ones that did it. And
I think I already said this on the show, but you're either gangsta-licious or you're thugnificent. That's it. That's all you are.
So my wife said to me, apparently she saw something where someone was dragging Meek Mill again, and Meek is like, I'll pay someone to clear my name, and then someone caught him, and he's been fucking silent since.
So
and he was one of the people that got passed.
Yeah, that happened a while ago. I can't remember if we talked about it on the show, but when he put out that tweet where he's all caps, I love pussy. If someone wanted to write a gay character trying to act not gay in the worst way possible, that's how you would write it. What is he doing?
But apparently, like, he came back. Someone brought him back up with the Diddy stuff, and he was like, "I'll pay someone like $500K to like clear my name." And then someone like put like provable that he was out there getting fucked, and he's been silent since. So it's hilarious,
and it's wild because it's just destroying so many people without Diddy saying a word yet.
And here's the thing. And what people need to understand, it's not necessarily now. He's like, Diddy may be gay, that's fine, but it's not the whole thing that goes on.
Be gay.
The whole thing that goes on in these parties and these situations where they're fucking guys and things like that, having them suck them off and stuff. It is less about the gayness of it and more about the power over these individuals.
It's also,
and
it's pretty gay.
It's very gay. Don't get me wrong. It's very gay, but it's a power play also that they have them on video doing these things. And now you have to do whatever the fuck we want and what we say.
But they're specifically blackmailing people. They're specifically getting their reputation. They're withholding everything.
Have gone on. We've all suspected this in Hollywood and entertainment. And we're going to see now. It's going to be LA has got exposed. Now New York City's got exposed. I'm waiting for Nashville because Nashville has the country shit. You're going to have to see it.
Miami,
maybe Atlanta. Maybe Austin, Atlanta. We'll see about Atlanta because it seems like all the Atlanta rappers have been ahead of this stuff. And like, I was talking with people like T.I. Notoriously doesn't fuck with Diddy. 50 does not fuck with Diddy. None of D12. Any of Death Row. Like there are groups and you can see these pockets that were formed. Cat Williams has gone on record saying he's told Diddy to fuck off multiple times.
Was Cat the one that said 2024 is the year that, or was that Charleston White?
I think it might have been Charleston White, but and the thing is, like, Cat was on the Breakfast Club, and I forget the female host, but she tried to go at him one time, and he was like, "You don't know me. I've been 30 times they've tried to get me, 30 times I've gotten out." And now there's got to be a theory that it's Diddy and his people trying to get him fucking hooked in. So you look at this, and there's so many people. There's cliques in hip hop that you just don't see certain ones fuck with certain ones, and this also puts a light on. Kanye was right. When he was sitting there saying they drugged me and they've kept me drugged and now I'm finally not, maybe he's back up because
he's still crazy.
He's been dark for a long time lately.
Like, a little
crazy. Not saying much on the internet after he just put his new wife's ass everywhere.
That
now he's
just wild.
It's wild, but
if Kanye stayed going to God, it would have been all right. But he stopped that.
Friend of the show and former guest Shane Cashman interviewed him and has been very vocal about the fact that this is not the Ye he interviewed. Ye needs to find God again. And he's texted Ye. He has Ye's number. And here's the thing. Ye went on that whole thing. He exposed that one producer saying, "Hey, come back. We're gonna get you with a blah blah blah." And he was saying, "Hey, they kept me drugged." And now this Diddy stuff came out. Did Jay-Z bring him over? Because we know Jay-Z's hung out. And there's, without speculating too much, there are notorious rappers that were always at Diddy parties from New York. Just throwing that out there. You guys can speculate what major New York rappers were there. Maybe you could look up yourself. But
I do want to real quick.
Go ahead.
Nate said if Garth Flip goes down, it'll be pretty sad. It would be pretty sad, 100%. But also,
you know what though? Wasn't Garth one of the ones that was woke as fuck for a little bit? Like he said some woke shit.
I can't remember. Was that? I don't know.
I can't remember. That said some woke shit.
I don't keep track of country stars a lot.
Country's
I'm
fantastic.
not gonna lie. I know. I listen to music, but I don't keep track of them. This is one of my favorite Kanye.
What do you mean they, Dave?
What? When did I say that? Yeah.
What do you mean they?
You know what I mean when I say whatever is the worst connotation of it is the one I mean.
I was trying to use the Ye quote when he asked. He's like, "Who's them?"
Yeah. But this is my favorite Kanye clip. And honestly, if Kanye even goes back to this, I don't care if he's ragging on Jews the whole time. If he's this funny.
If he goes,
the thing about the red hat that drove me to a point of exhaustion, which was misdiagnosed by I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
I fucking love that clip.
He was.
It was a Jewish doctor.
It was a Jewish doctor. The hand.
I fucking love that clip.
I'm not going to say I can't.
He has so many great clips. Houseway. The fuck does that mean? Kobe Bryant, which is a great commercial.
The bottom line is, Ye at moments has seemed like he's gone crazy, but when he was talking about what they did to him, what the music industry forced him to do, it's now seeming all like it's real, and it's more like there's less speculation.
Look, this has been happening a long time. Corey Feldman came out.
And just wasn't fucking
Corey Feldman has been talking about this for a long fucking time. And people just threw him under the fucking Roseanne just said in the Tucker thing.
Yep.
That she went off. Like she
Glenn interviewed
literally
Roseanne
eating
too
babies.
recently too.
What?
Glenn interviewed Roseanne too.
Yeah, but I remember Roseanne literally said like they're eating babies. I was like, oh my god.
Here's the thing: that adrenochrome didn't come out of nowhere. That's the thing. It's like you could think that the adrenochrome shit's crazy and that we're making stuff up, conspiracy theories, but that is a historical thing that is documented by secret societies, and now it's just speculation as to whether these secret societies have gotten into Hollywood. And between like things like Alex Jones, Luke Rudkowski, like a lot of these journalists that pursue this have come to show that maybe this shit's real. When Alex Jones got into whatchamacallit, the Grove,
Bohemian Grove.
That's the thing. Which everyone was like, Bohemian Grove isn't real, doesn't do this. Alex Jones snuck in and has video of it still to this day that he has video of. And that was, and then the Bilderberg group, Luke Rudkowski.
That's the thing.
That's the thing.
That's the thing.
Real.
Anytime, Bohemian Grove didn't have to be a thing. The fact that you have a bunch of people that have a lot of money just get together for no fucking reason for progressing the world is the most insane shit is the most insane possible.
And the funny thing is too, if anyone's ever seen Eyes Wide Shut, they quite literally made a movie about what they do.
Yes,
they made a movie and put it out there.
Yeah,
and they put it out there.
Funny. It was funny. That was actually just talked about in FNT.
Yeah. But they put it out there for people to know exactly what they are doing with the freaky sex parties and orgies and the masks and the drugs and all that type
Drew
of
Barrymore recently talked about being passed around when she was 15.
Yeah.
This is known. It's not. And the worst part is that Weinstein was just a fall guy when Weinstein was just the tip of the spear. And Weinstein was called God by Martha Stewart. I don't want to get it wrong.
And also on top of that, like we see so many of these child actors of other actors, right? Like Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. had a habit by 14. Where the fuck was he finding that? His dad was a famous actor, so obviously he was running in those circles. And it's just so sad that we make it like we excuse it because they entertain us. Because they entertain us and they make good movies, we excuse the fact that people go there and develop a habit. Perfect example. I don't want to slander Ariana Grande. But Ariana Grande has always been thin, but she looked fairly healthy. She has a very petite frame.
I was gonna say
she now looks like a skeleton.
She was not as thin.
Not as thin as this. Victorious. She was just a petite framed woman. But
Meryl Streep, sorry, it was Meryl Streep.
And Meryl Streep, I think, is one of the worst people in the history of the world. Anyway, I always make the joke that Meryl Streep didn't have to act in Devil Wears Prada. That's just her. But I don't know Meryl Streep. That's just me. That is me slandering her because I don't like her as an actor. But the thing is, it's like. We excuse this. And then we say, oh, it's just stress. No, Ariana Grande is fucking snorting coke left and right. That is what happens when you do hard drugs.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Most likely.
In Power World. But but that's just speculation there. But you look at Ariana Grande from when she basically became a woman after Disney and started really bursting onto the scene. Like I said, skinny, but not deadly skinny. And now she looks like she might break from stepping off the curb wrong. It's sad to see. I just accept this.
I bring this up all the time because Nickelodeon itself was weird. Dan Schneider was a weird person, and it was obvious in the shows themselves.
Was it Dan Schneider?
Yes,
that was his name. Because I always confuse him with the former owner of the Redskins.
Yeah, it's different spelling of the last name.
And Dan Snyder, right?
Yeah, okay. Different spellings of the last name.
SEHSNY.
Yes. So, but Dan Schneider, he's always been a weird guy. There was a whole foot thing that was going on, and it was really weird.
But
I remember
fight on the set. It is.
I remember a episode of Victorious where basically everyone gets trapped in an RV on a hot day, except for Ariana Grande's character Kat, and she doesn't know that they're trapped there. I can't remember exactly what happens, but there's a part of it. It's because it's a hot day. She's in a white t-shirt, and a bunch of guys are around, and they're doing water balloons, and she gets the white t-shirt all fucking wet and shit like that in a kid's show. This is a kid's show. I'm pretty sure she's still underage.
And she's like the ditzy idiot of the group.
Yeah.
So she's like, I don't know.
It's a bit wild to have that in a kid's show.
And that's the thing. And he was obviously, he was living some fetishes, right? He was through those kids. And the thing is, they were making comedy, but they were making comedy for kids. In comedy, you push the envelope, but you don't do it with fucking kids, right? There's a different type of comedy. And you even saw it with All That, where All That, yes, in comedy, you take stereotypes, you run with them, you make them caricatures.
Well, Drake and Josh didn't have anything that fucking crazy, if I remember.
He was sitting there with All That, though, and he was taking the black kids and making them rappers and drug dealers and criminals. Only. Those are the only roles they played. And it's like, listen, maybe if it's a bunch of adults doing this and you're getting them to consent as adults to do these bits, fine. We've seen it in WWE. They had a fucking black tag team named Crime Time. Like, okay.
Crime Time is a great tag team.
And primetime players, like obviously playing into some things, but these are adults that have a little bit of a say of going like, nah, I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. When you have kids, and we saw this on Quiet on the Set, there was pressure, and the one black kid, I forget his name, but he was like, every time I was a criminal, every time I was a rapper, like I could never just be a person in a skit. I always had to be something very stereotypical. And as a kid in those shows with a guy as powerful as Dan Schneider, you're not saying no. And the only one that saw it was his mom. And his mom pulled him the fuck out. Thank God for her. She's a fantastic woman.
It's like Kablam didn't have the weird shit either. Yeah, there is some things that Schneider didn't have weird shit, at least not off the top of my head. Like I said, Drake and Josh.
But didn't Kablam had Action League Now. Action League Now played up the fucking plastic guy having no dick, basically being naked. He was Naked Man, and
that's a bit different. Though. That's a bit different because like kids make that joke with their dolls anyway.
Yes,
that's different. Yes. So that's very different from that because, like I said, off the top of my head, I don't remember Drake and Josh having anything fucking crazy in it. Like I don't remember anything in there.
At that point, Drake was already being raped, so it's like
that's true. But I'm saying the show itself.
What more could you do at that point?
What happened to Drake Bell?
Your friend is already fucking plowing this kid every single night, and I'm pretty sure he says he didn't know. And
I don't think he was giving him a break with the show, but
might have been like, "Hey kid, you can't walk straight. I'm not going to do anything with you."
we can move on from that.
Okay, as I a little too far and not be able to walk straight. Okay, let's go on to something a little more cheery for us here, okay? We're going to jump into some anime space because I'm excited for this. I'm excited and sad at the same time, and you'll find out why I'm sad.
As I said, why are you sad?
So from SLO, SLO plays over on X. Let me get this up. Boom, boom, boom. It has been announced that Dragon Ball Daima is coming to America with their first 3 episodes, 1 hour and 14 minutes, English dub premiere in theaters, Fathom Events.
Oh, shit.
Go find out. I'm pretty sure that you can go on the website and stuff and see where you can, even if you scroll down from this tweet here from Slow Plays, SLO Plays, which I want Slow to come on because he talks Dragon Ball all the time. But you can sign up there and when tickets go on sale on Fathom Events there. So it's a series, but you're going to get the first 3 in the dub, and that's exciting. And it's going to theaters. Fathom Events does fucking awesome for anime.
Yes,
Fathom, big shout out because they're smart as hell. They know that fans in America of anime are massive. And when they're taking things like Mugen Train and even the Black Clover movie and things like that and bringing it there, they're making money hands over fist. So it's fantastic. But they're bringing this over to theaters. I'm excited, Dave. Now, the only sad thing is this November 10th through 12th is when it's going to be when the event's happening. I don't know if I'm going to be back yet from vacation.
Oh, boo-hoo.
I'm sad. But here's the thing. My kids like Dragon Ball now. Yeah. And even though they're not going to be up to Daima, I would love to take my girls to go see it.
I mean, it wouldn't really necessarily matter. Like they wouldn't know some of the characters, but it doesn't matter. They could just figure them out.
I don't care about that. It's young Goku again. But my thing is I want to be back so I could take him. Yeah, I want to sign up because it's only 84 minutes. They can sit through 84 minutes. They watch TV shows, and with Dragon Ball, like my girls love this, especially my older one. She loves Kid Goku, and the fact that he gets transformed back, she'll be introduced to some new characters. She'll ask me about Vegeta and stuff like that and Piccolo, but that's okay. I just want to take them there and experience it. Ooh, I burped while I talked. That was weird. But I just want to have them experience it. Are you planning on trying to go see this?
Possibly. If I remember, honestly. I might not, but it would be fun to go see. I'd have to find someone to go watch it with me because I don't know if I'd have anyone.
Scott or Jeff. Jeff will go with you.
That is true. I could probably afford
Jeff did the fuck. Jeff in his and shout out to Jeff for you. You're going to be fighting again soon. We're excited for you. He's our good friend. 7-1 now or 6-1?
I can't remember.
And he's top 75 in his weight class. So Jeffrey, you definitely go look out for him. He's one of the people on the rise in boxing. But yeah, no, for any Dragon Ball fans, I found this to be tons of fun. And I'm excited for this because, again, being a big Dragon Ball fan, I think that it's something
5-1.
5-1. Okay. And Nate, to answer your question, is Danny Tamborelli all fucked up? Adventures of Pete and Pete was solid too. I never liked Pete and Pete, so I didn't pay attention to them very much. That was one of the shows I wasn't a fan of. I would watch it every once in a while, but I wasn't a huge fan, so I don't know much about if Danny Tamborelli is all fucked up or not. But yeah, and also Jujutsu Kaisen just ended. I'm not caught up with that, but that manga just ended. Well, I'm gonna catch up on that, and I will give some commentary because Gege has been pissing me off for months now. And our buddy John told me, we was yik-yakking with me about it, and he said, yeah, it's basically as thrown together as this whole last fucking arc has been. So I'm gonna read it, and it's sad to me.
Great,
because how many years has Jujutsu Kaisen been going on now?
I don't know.
It's crazy because I remember when this was first coming out and I was excited for it. I think I was the first one to kind of ring the bell in our friend group and stuff like that to be like, hey, this is going to be good. And it was great.
Women are so freaky over Gojo, man. It's weird. I don't like it.
It is weird. And honestly, it's when the anime community gets weird because I've never simped for fucking waifus and anime. Like, obviously, you can look and people can draw pretty characters, right?
Yes.
You draw good-looking characters. It's okay to acknowledge when a good-looking character is drawn.
Yeah.
It's not okay to simp over them. I find that fucking weird. Like, you could... And here's the thing. You can
yeah,
say,
the same thing goes for guys. It's just like...
No, it's the same for guys. Like, girls can say, like, hey, that character's hot. Obviously, that's fine because they're drawn in that way. They have 8-pack abs. They have a good-look aesthetic to them.
Gojo's obviously supposed to be a good-looking character.
Gojo's a good-looking dude,
yeah,
but they are fucking creepy for how they go for Gojo. It's almost like guys with Nami and fucking Robin and things like that. And because there are some ridiculous, and even Lucy from Fairy Tail. It's like it's grossly simpish. And like, don't get me wrong, again, Nami and Robin are good-looking animated characers. But they're
Oda
animated.
Just inflating their boobs.
Oda's just continually getting them bigger, and even Hero doing it with Lucy. Lucy's boobs constantly get bigger, and her boob and just to grow. And here's
they can't help themselves
with Hiro Mashima.
They can't help themselves.
But Hiro Mashima has always done fan service, but his fan service has been both ways because Gray in Fairy Tail is constantly
always taking his clothes
naked.
Off.
He's always taking his clothes off. So, in all fairness, if you're talking about fan service, most of them are only one way. This fan service, Hiro's made sure to make it even. As much as Lucy's getting her clothes ripped off of her every other fucking chapter, Gray is also naked every other chapter. So you're getting both from Fairy Tail, even though Fairy Tail's fantastic. The new 100-Year Quest has been really good, and I'm happy it's been animated as well, even though the other day I fell asleep watching. I had to go back again. Because I have a problem in my life with falling asleep watching things. But so that was our nerdy side. Do we have anything else nerdy to cover right now?
Well, we can make fun of some French Ubisoft employees.
We can. Pull that up, Dave. Let's make some fun of some French people. Making fun of French people is always good because they can't win a war anymore.
So a bunch of French Ubisoft employees were urged to strike over a new return to office policy.
And again, let's mind you, this is the same Ubisoft that in America has their stock plummeting from $84 to I think right around 2 something right now.
Yeah, they're having a very bad time recently. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Ubisoft is bought at some point, just completely bought out.
If Assassin's Creed Shadows bombs, like it probably bombs is an understatement because they're going to get their big score.
The thing is, even if Assassin's Creed Shadows does okay,
if it does Unity standards, they're fucked.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It has to overperform to correct a lot of things that they have fucked up, and it won't overperform. If it does okay, Ubisoft is still in a bad position. Yeah. It's still in a position where it can be bought pretty easily from a big company. Obviously,
and what's sad is they still have properties in their name that if someone bought them, if they just made a good Rayman, they just made a good Rayman, they're right back in.
Yeah.
Ubisoft All you have to do to make money is make a fucking good Rayman, and then you can go make another 3 fucking terrible games. Like you can buy yourself some time.
Well, no, actually, I don't know about that because the Rayman is not a lot of money put in and a good profit off of it because you're not putting a lot of money in. And it's still going to get bought and played. While Outlaws and Shadows is a lot of money put in, and then you're not even recouping that.
Could you imagine?
Maybe Shadows might recoup.
If there's still a $200 million budget on Rayman because they have to pay all these fucking people, these loaded motherfuckers.
That'd be crazy. Rayman would lose money then.
Be there.
Rayman would definitely
lose money. Yes. But you know what? The dumbest thing too. Imagine if at State of Play, PlayStation announced a new Rayman through Ubisoft. It would be massive. There would be pre-orders left and right.
Yes,
but they're retarded. Go ahead. So I'm sorry.
Now I will say this about this call to strike is that there is at least one argument here, which is okay, because it says after more than 5 years of working efficiently which efficiently doesn't need to be in there, they're just trying to make them sound better. In the current remote work context, many of our colleagues have built or rebuilt their lives, family life, housing, parenthood, and simply cannot return to the previous working conditions. Really, the biggest one there is housing, because if you did move off of it being remote work, that's a little messed up, but only if it was contingent on you being remote consistently.
Here's my thing. Nope. If you were hired in office and you moved, you're a fucking idiot. Now, this only pertains to those that were hired remote, not living in the area, and then they were okayed, because I've known people that they've been hired and they live in another state because it was remote, and there's come to work now mandates coming in, and they're being excused. That's the only way to work around that. If you were hired in another state remote and they're telling you didn't have to relocate, that's fine. If you were hired in office and then you went remote, fuck off. It was
what I'm saying is if you went remote and Ubisoft is stupid enough to say, because there's a nationwide thing, if Ubisoft is stupid enough to say that you would be able to stay remote, then that is Ubisoft's fault. I don't know what
it is their fault.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what it was, but if they were stupid enough to do that, then it is their fault. But that's really the only excuse, is housing, is being away from the office, far enough away from the office that it wouldn't make sense. But they go on, our employer knows this perfectly well. The consequence of its decision will be the loss of our colleagues' jobs, the disorganization of many game projects, like they need more of that, and a drastic increase in psychosocial risks for those who remain, which is a ridiculous statement to end it on. Absolutely ridiculous statement to end it on. But this is really just
all about justice.
Yeah, this is just a lot of complaining for being told to come into the damn office. And it's funny because, it's the French doing it, but it's not entirely surprising for anyone that's being
French
told to come
do
into the
like
office.
to protest, though.
Yeah.
And this isn't surprising coming from the French. They like to protest. And the thing is, Ubisoft needs us like a hole in the head. We just talked about it. They do not need this off a fairly reasonable thing. Again, if it's in writing that they allow people to go, that's their fault.
This stoppage will mark the second strike from French Ubisoft employees this year, because they had annual. So in France, every year there's annual salary negotiations.
That's crazy.
Which is insane. This article praises it because they're insane. It's PC Gamer. They're ridiculous. But
I mean, for the worker, works great. Because you're never going to ask for less, and they're never going to offer you less. Right?
I was going to say, doesn't necessarily work great for the worker.
Well,
for short term.
No, but you're never going to be stagnant. You're always going to go more, and you can get more than 3% if you're smart at negotiating.
Yeah, but if people are getting cut off because of that, if the company is going to go under because they can't exactly pay, these are very short term things that people think about when they do
very short term.
So that's my thing. Is is it necessarily good if you're going to lose the company and you don't have a job?
But they don't think of it that way. Leftists don't think of it that way.
Yeah, but. This is hilarious, and it's just the French being French again. But this is also something that we would see in America, and I think we have seen in America. But I am kind of tired of this whole entire debate of, remote has been shown to be more efficient.
No, it isn't.
We haven't been fucking remote long enough to have a study that's good enough on it.
And not even that, it's not more efficient. It's more comfortable. But anybody that I've talked to in the corporate world says, yes, waking up, rolling out of bed, and going remote is easier. But not having face-to-face in terms of having conversations and meetings is incredibly difficult.
It's a whole entire ball game. Now,
different
for the antisocial people that are this generation and below, maybe that's why they love it, because they're not exactly great at conversation.
But here's the thing, by getting back in the office, that's how you gain that skill. You work at it, you stupid
You would think they gain that skill. They don't gain that skill. That's why they fucking throw a bitch fit all the time. That's why things are where they are right now.
Agreed. But you know what, though? The work, come back to the office is not unreasonable. Now, again, if it's in writing that Ubisoft allowed some of these
Also, Nate's still waiting for New Conqueror's Bad Fur Day. Honestly,
that would be so good.
That would be cool in another time period.
Yeah, that would be like Rockstar doing another Bully, because I don't trust Rockstar doing another Bully, and I'm waiting to see what Grand Theft Auto 6 becomes. I'm waiting for more trailers and eventually gameplay, because I'm always worried about that being woke. Because of the, here's the thing, and this is a quick aside with that. If they pull off the Bonnie and Clyde stuff properly, it could be fucking dope, because the story of Bonnie and Clyde's great. If they are just as raunchy, as in your face, as inappropriate, and they don't tiptoe around jokes, get the female protagonist, and they do good fucking scenes, and basically do what Grand Theft Auto does. They make fun of stereotypes by making them incredible caricatures, and they are so offensive, they're funny. That's what they've been doing the whole time, and that's what makes their stories great. You're meeting larger than life people. If they tiptoe around it, they go DEI. If you can't be a chick and go walk into Chippendales and get plowed out just because you wanted some dick, then it doesn't work, because that is GTA. You get them, you get a hooker, you give her your money, you kill it, and you take the money she had.
That's what everyone did.
Everyone did. Or if you can't sit there and go to the building on top of it and jump the fuck off to your death. These are things that needs to be a part of the game still, because that's part of the fabric, is being able to be a fucking psycho. Part of the fun of GTA is the environment.
Yes. The full environment of GTA, the fact that it's basically the dregs of the city everywhere.
One of my favorite quotes is in Grand Theft Auto 3, when you go around towards the Hicks, and one of the Hicks is like, "My mother's my sister." It's fucking hilarious. They're just the dumbest thing.
But GTA radio has it all over the place, man. And you could actually sit there and listen to it while you're playing the game, and it's still fun. It's still something that you want on.
Made fun of teriyaki. It had a guy in an Asian accent going, "Hockey, sucky, teriyaki, sucky." The worst, most racist fucking Japanese accent you could ever find. But that's what Grand Theft Auto is. It is such a caricature of, and it is beautiful satire, because that's really what Grand Theft Auto is.
This is Florida.
Satire.
So
if they don't make fun of Cubans left and right, then there's something wrong. Okay?
If they go anywhere near the Panhandle, or if they have a Panhandle area, which is basically Alabama, if they don't have a bunch of weirdly hick people in there.
And that's the thing. If it continues to be itself, fine. I'm just worried that by adding a female protagonist, they're going to water it down, because they don't want to offend certain groups of people. So, what would be the greatest twist and would bury them? If the female's not actually a female, she's trans.
That'd be hilarious. I would want another Az rant for that one. I would want another Az
rant.
Absolutely legendary. The only thing that remains of Starfield is his rant. Honestly. Not the fucking game. No one cares about the game.
Well, because the game sucked. Here's the thing. The gameplay I heard wasn't terrible, but the fact that you fast travel everywhere, you can't even explore space. The whole fun part would have been if I want to fly.
Well, most of the planets had nothing on it.
They had nothing on it. And the thing is, too, that drives you insane. You can choose to be good and go with the fleet, whatever, or be a part of the pirates and go against them. Wouldn't that have been intelligent to let you fly in between planets, and as you're going, whatever faction you're against harasses you on the way, or you could fast travel, right? So you can choose to engage in a star battle against fucking pirates if you're fleet, and then fleet can come help you, and that could be a part of it. Or like Skyrim, if you're not engaged, you could fast travel. When you're engaged, you need to figure out to get the fuck out of there, and then fast travel away if they're annoying you. And coming from Bethesda, which was already a mechanic that they had in a game before, where you could just choose to walk around Skyrim. You could spend your whole day walking around fighting Yetis and wisps and fucking shit that kills you for no reason.
Well, Bethesda has fallen into this issue of, we're going to put out our game, and most likely won't be good. It'd be filled with bugs.
Yep.
But the modders are going to make it good.
Yeah.
The modders didn't even fucking spruce up Starfield that good because they didn't fucking care about it. People were still playing Fallout 4.
Yep.
And Fallout 76 more.
Fallout 4 wasn't even that great. I heard Fallout 76
was a disaster.
And I heard it got fixed a ton though.
Apparently it got fixed.
And it's playable and it's fun now.
But it was an absolute disaster when it came out. It was one of the worst things.
Yep.
And it was such a disappointment. But that got fixed a whole bunch. And now people are playing that more than your space game.
Yep.
How, as Bethesda, as the company Bethesda, do you make a big space game and not do that right? You would think they would be able to do it right.
Fallout 4 bugged me because coming from Skyrim, which was so open world, so you can do whatever you want, Fallout 4 felt so linear. Well, it is so linear because you can't progress in any way, shape, or form without just completing the mission. Where in Skyrim, you can kind of fuck around. You can walk around. You can have a good time of it. And you can discover everywhere.
And even worse for Fallout 4 was that Fallout New Vegas came before it. And Fallout New Vegas is arguably
amazing.
Yeah, but Fallout New Vegas is arguably the best game in the series.
Mm-hmm.
So, and New Vegas had it has so many options in it. You could do so many damn things in that game. It hurt Fallout 4.
Although the shooting mechanics were improved, I prefer Fallout 4 shooting mechanics over 3 in New Vegas because obviously the game is 15 years later, right? So it's like a better game. But still, if you compare it to other shooters like Call of Duty, Battlefield, even Fortnite.
Well, Fallout's not about its gunplay.
It's not about its gunplay, but they should have made it better to at least be close to those levels because you are fighting a lot. And Fallout 4 is shooting.
But that's also why they had VATS in it because it's not about its gunplay.
It's not about, but I feel like that also hurt because you want to have better gunplay. Where it's not going to be Call of Duty or Battlefield, but at least it's more serviceable. So that's I haven't finished Fallout 4. I want to play it a little more, but it got to a point. It got to a point.
I can't remember where I was.
Where I'm sitting there and it's just, I'm like, I want to explore, but what is there to explore too? It's so empty. Fallout 4 is incredibly empty. Where there's nothing.
New Vegas, you could literally walk over to the death claws on accident and just immediately die.
There's nothing to go to. There's no real threat in Fallout 4. Maybe I just haven't discovered it yet, but it's like there's no reason for me to want to walk from place to place and detour. It's just go be linear, go complete the story, go keep playing. And I don't play Fallout. I don't play a Bethesda game to just play a linear story. I play it to fucking wander. I play Grand Theft Auto to wander. These are the type of things, these sandboxes, you play them to wander. You don't play them to complete the story. Completing the story is secondary. And again, there's sometimes where, okay, I need to complete this level in order to get to this. Yeah. And then I want to access X, Y, and Z. Okay, that's fine. But in the interim, I can go do whatever the fuck I want. And that's part of the fun. Fallout 4 didn't have that fun aspect of it. It was too open and it was too barren, where it's sad because Bethesda, again, and it's comparing it to Skyrim, which is one of the greatest games of all time. But at the same time, when you make that, you absolutely need to at least be at or basically a little below it. If Fallout 4 was just a little below, not as good as Skyrim, but still a really good game, I'm in. But the fact that it was like here to here, I can't do that. I can't do that. And that's, again, it's one of the reasons why I don't game as much. Okay, let's keep rolling here. Let's switch gears.
I was gonna say, do you want to be hurt?
No, I'm not doing the geeks and let's do geeks and nerds of Harris. Let's fucking finish.
Do you want to do it?
Let's just finish. Let's just finish. Okay. Nate says yes. Sandbox says I put a lot of Project Zomboid. I never played that. I've heard good things about it. So we are going to talk about the most effective and powerful campaign for Kamala Harris.
We're using D-Day Cobra.
We're using D-Day Cobra, Jeremy.
Homosexual.
Geek, giant fucking flamer. Geeks and nerds for
Harris. No. It's gotta be the real one. No, homosexual. You gotta say it correctly.
Okay. Let's see what Linda Carter over here.
And I'm using this mainly because this is the easiest cut. I didn't want to go to the actual channel.
Wonderful, intelligent Linda Carter has to say in order.
This is her introducing a guy to sing a song who voiced Brack from The Adult Swim show. Can't remember.
It's so sad. Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yes, thank you. Space Ghost.
Which Space Ghost Coast to Coast and the Brack Show. Brack Show kind of sucked. Yeah. Space Ghost Coast to Coast is a fucking classic satire of late night.
But the thing is, I didn't even know it was Brack because when she says his name, I couldn't fucking identify it. So,
all right, let's hear the amazing. She's so convincing. She makes
Linda Carter.
Linda Carter.
You have been in my heart and in my mind for a very long time. Thank you.
Obviously, we hear Jeremy.
Thank you very, very much. And here we go. Here we go. This is this my turn to say this? Oh, okay. Sorry.
Fucking buzzing, man.
Oh, I'm so too excited that I got to see Mary. All Americans are such good people.
You know what's unfair, though? I just see Marianne Williamson.
I can see that a little bit, actually.
I just see Marianne Williamson.
I can see that.
And it's unfair to Marianne.
There's a part of me that feels a little bad for her.
I don't.
Because maybe she's on some prescription and it's fucking her up. Because this is not.
Don't go on TV.
I don't think this is just a drunk.
Then don't go on. No, she's on pills too.
This looks like pills.
This is popping a fucking few perks while pounding a fucking 40. Okay, right before going on.
You'll see why I say that the longer we get into this clip.
Let's keep going here. This is
have been fooled by the gold leaf. You know, Americans are solid gold, and we have to look at the facts. We need justice, not alternative facts. When Kamala says do something, it's like what you're doing right now, tuning in here, right here with us to learn how you can get out there for good. You know, it is that. It is you. It is being outside of, it's outside here, and it's being in the street, and it's talking to people, and it's getting to vote, and it's listening, taking your precious time to do what you're doing right now. We need your money. We need your money, and we need your vote. So this next performer knows a thing or two about variety shows. You may remember him fondly.
This is tough, man.
It's the Brack Show. Please give a warm welcome to the iconic, the super duper, the amazing and fabulous,
super duper,
iconic.
Dave, have you ever seen the movie Nell?
No. Andy Brackbarrel. I love you.
No, like Nell was a movie about like kind of like a disabled-ish chick, but she was like a savant. She was like, but like she like kind of spoke in her own way, and she was and at one point she like does something. She's like chick in the wind, and that's exactly what I just saw with her. Like, hold on, let me see. I gotta see if I can find Nell doing that.
Do you want to hear some of Brack's song?
No.
Okay, but you're going to hear some of Brack's songs. I need you to understand the torment. I've heard this song multiple times now.
Why?
Because of the fucking shows I watch.
I just can't get over it. I get to talk to you. I can't get over it.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
In the heart of my bottom. Thank you to the 15,000 people that followed on Twitter. So here, I'm singing a song. So take your medicine. Okay, here we go.
What?
You'd think we know the difference between good and bad. Too many are willingly bamboozled, and it's sad.
Can we get to the chorus?
Do I want my favorite toy or a bag of broken glass? Some will choose the glass because of the chokehold on there. But
what the fuck?
So we gotta choose joy and not hate. If we made that choice together, it'd be great.
Trying to
Let's stand up and get the let out to control our fate.
Dave, you froze.
Choose joy and
you
not
just
hate. Am I still frozen?
But let's get you the fuck out of here. But
we gotta choose joy and not hate.
Gotta use joy and not hate. So I think this is the thing that I was referring to with Nell, and you're gonna see that she's very much like Linda Carter right now.
Oh, jeez.
And I feel bad, and I think this is the scene. And our sister Christina really liked this movie for some reason. I have no fucking idea why.
Arna. So what's tag?
Liam Neeson.
Huh?
That, oh wow, yeah, you're that is Linda
in the wind. Tree in the wind. You're a tree in the wind.
Oh man, that's rough. That is rough, man.
Show me Tag. Come on, show me Tag. Show me the trees. Come on, no, it'll be fun.
That's her. That's absolutely her.
Like a Dragon Ball Z.
Tie in the wind.
2006 all over again.
But yeah, tie in the wind. Like,
oh man. But yeah, Geeks and Nerds for Harris, the huge thing, the thing that definitely took off.
That absolutely is going to sway all 16 people that watch that.
Apparently it was a lot of people. I think when
we got a new subscriber, Squiggles McJr. Thank you, Squiggles.
Thank you very much, Squiggles. I think when they started with Mark Hamill and a bunch of other people, Jesus. I think it was at like 23,000 people watching, and it dipped down to like 12 or something like that after that.
When they realized Mark Hamill's retarded?
No, it was after he left. But Mark Hamill does not do himself any justice at all.
I mean, he's not a good actor. He's a good Luke. He's just not a good actor. He's a good Luke Skywalker.
He is Luke Skywalker.
But I don't know.
Skywalker, and he's a voice actor.
Joker. He's the best Joker of all time. I will give it that. Luke's Joker is him. I fuck him for Luke at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, allowing Luke to be done the way he was done. I don't know if I could say Luke anymore.
It's weird because he kind of, when it was coming out, he was saying like, "Hey, I didn't agree with this," but now he's kind of backtracked on that. So I don't know where he is. When it came out, he said like there were things that he disagreed with, and he did, but like he didn't want, like he didn't see Luke doing some of these things
because he wouldn't. Because Luke wouldn't.
Some of them
Luke
he did.
Wouldn't just try to fucking kill fucking. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
What's awesome? Here's the thing. In all this clusterfuck of stupid, they did have a really cool power that showed how strong Luke was in the Force when he was able to project himself.
Yeah, but he projected himself and then whisked away. He just fucking died.
But just like they gave you that hint from the expanded universe of just how strong and into the Force he was.
Yeah,
because there was no other Jedi that's even come close to using a projection to fight a full-on battle. Like that was the coolest fucking part of all three of those movies was Luke doing that.
I'm gonna burn the fucking tree where all the fucking Jedi. Oh my god! Oh, don't make me think of those movies again, dude. It's so bad. I'm not that big of a Star Wars fan. I'm just not. But even watching those movies, not being a huge Star Wars fan, Force Awakens, I was like, you know what? They're trying to introduce people back into younger people back into Star Wars. It's okay to be a bit derivative. Whatever. Yeah. I'm fine with it. Last Jedi, I was not happy. I was like, this is fucking terrible. I remember arguing with my friend Evan about that movie. Like, we argued with one of our friends about that movie.
And I think one of the biggest issues is, and something I take umbrage with, and I hear a lot of people being like, well, Luke was, he didn't train much and he became a good blah, blah, blah. Okay. Luke was not a better swordsman. He was not a better Jedi than Vader. It was emotions that eventually lost Vader in. Luke lost.
Luke lost.
The second fight, it was much closer because he trained his dick off.
Yeah.
And also, Vader never wanted to kill Luke. Period. And the story, that was his son. He knew it was his son, and his whole goal was to persuade him over. So that's number one. He was holding back in his fight against Luke every time. Mm-hmm. Where the difference is Ray Palpatine fucking
don't you mean Ray Skywalker?
Ray Palpatine is all of a sudden a master at a lightsaber and can now go toe-to-toe with Kylo Ren, which is one of the biggest things.
Which is insane.
They made Kylo Ren look weak. And Kylo Ren, for all intents and purposes, the way they built him up, was stronger than Darth Vader. Well, he was supposed to be built up that way, where he took care of Snoke, who was a high command in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And he was supposed to be right up there. And the thing is, I believe much more that Finn can handle a lightsaber competently because Finn was trained to be a warrior.
Military. Yeah.
He's military. He's hand-to-hand combat.
But even then, Finn was standing up to Kylo Ren, which is ridiculous.
He shouldn't have been. But
for like a matter of seconds, that shouldn't happen.
The only believable thing I could see Finn doing is reacting quick enough to maybe block and then getting the fuck out of there.
That's
right?
about it.
Just reaction, right? Boom. I use my lightsaber to block. Maybe a quick parry because I caught you off guard.
Yeah.
And now I'm out. The fact that anybody stood up to Kylo Ren, and it's like, again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. They didn't making Kylo Ren flip-flop between being good or being super evil was one of the biggest travesties.
Yeah, he just became a baby.
And go with, yes.
He just became a baby. He wasn't a fun villain.
Has become one of my favorite actors since then. When he's like, I had nothing to fucking do with what Kylo Ren did. I didn't have a choice. Like I was just acting the way they told me to. Stop blaming me for Kylo Ren fucking being a pig. Like I love that Adam Driver has come out lately and just been like over the past time, like stop yelling at me for Kylo Ren sucking. Wasn't my fault. Like, and it's like. That's my thing. And that's one of the missed opportunities. And who knows? Maybe
a lot of missed opportunities.
Maybe if they didn't switch directors for the second or the third movie, we could have gotten a coherent story because that's one of the biggest travesties too. That we didn't get, Rian Johnson's not great. Okay. But if Rian Johnson would at least had a chance because he spent the third movie fixing a ton of what his vision didn't match what went on in the second movie. So maybe we get something at least a little more coherent. There was no coherentness to the story.
It should have been JJ for all three. If JJ is going to start, it should have been JJ for all three.
It was either JJ or Rian. Pick which one you want.
Yeah.
And let it go. And that is part of the issue here, that they just decided to fucking piece it together, and then one was fixing what the other did.
Well, that's the thing. They did it like fucking like American Horror Story, where every episode's like another director and in a season. And they did it like that. And we've seen how that turns out. And some of those seasons where it's just all over the fucking place sometimes. And it just it's not as cohesive. Exactly. Like the first season's fantastic. I don't know if you've seen it. First season's amazing.
Of which one?
American Horror Story.
No, I didn't really watch much of American Horror Story. I heard it's great.
First season's great. Second season's good up to a point. And then after, I fell off after that. I've heard there's some good parts of other seasons, but overall, it just falls off.
The Gaga seasons are pretty good too.
The fifth one, I did actually watch that because
I heard the Gaga seasons were pretty good. They tapped into like
it was all right.
Creepiness.
The fifth one was all right because there are some things that they left that happened once and then it didn't happen again. And it was weird. Yeah, I'm not going to go crazy into it, but. You just don't do that creatively unless it's kind of like an anthology and it doesn't need this whole overarching thing that needs to happen.
Yep.
But you don't do that with Star Wars. You don't do that with the biggest enterprise you have.
But the bastardization is a thing. And, at least I guess the only saving grace is you didn't need to watch any TV shows in order to know what went on in those three movies, which has been the dumbest fucking part of what Marvel and what Disney has done. Honestly, you can give me bad movies and bad TV shows, but make them at least not have to watch one to know what's going on in the other. Okay. I don't want to have to watch fucking, Mandalorian to understand what's going on in Obi-Wan, or maybe that
what about having to watch Boba Fett in order to understand what's going on in Mandalorian season 3?
Why the fuck is Grogu back, and why hasn't Grogu evolved at all? It's bad. And here's the thing: at this point, they could legitimately do something well, and I'm not going to fucking care on Marvel or Star Wars side.
That's the same thing with a lot of people.
And it's like, and it's annoying because they keep on killing some of my favorite fucking characters, like Ahsoka. Ahsoka could have been done really well. I wasn't going to give it the time of day. I wasn't, because and that's including, and they included some of my favorite characters from Rebels. I'm one of the people that fucking loves Rebels.
And the funny part is, it's Filoni that did it.
Yeah, and Filoni's going to save the day.
It's Filoni Filoni's the one that created Ahsoka. If any, who are you going to trust? Who should you technically be able to trust more than Filoni? But guy's obviously shit because of how he does these types of things.
Yeah, I mean, we can get off of this because I'm just going to get fucking pissed about all this. Let's run over real quick. I want to talk about something that happened today. SpaceX coming to save the day. Elon Musk coming to save the day. Today, they launched a rocket into space. I'm going to go to the article. I don't know how much we're actually going to read from it, but I'm just going to pop it up here. SpaceX launched a rocket today, a 2-man crew for a 4-man rocket to go up to the International Space Station to save the 2 individuals that are up there that were stranded by Boeing. because they're space liner. So it's Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams. They're the ones getting saved up there. The Boeing, what is it called? The Boeing Starliner. They took the Starliner up there, and it was plagued by troubles. Apparently, there was lots of safety concerns. So the Boeing Starliner came back down on its own, and since then, they were only supposed to be up there for, I think, a few weeks. I don't think they were supposed to be up there on a full 6-month rotation. They've been up there for a while now. It's going to be more than 8 months that they've been up there. Now, SpaceX is going up there. Now, SpaceX is going up there with their 2. And in the article, they said they talked about some of the complications of the fact that, yes, they're professionals. They're all professionals. They all are astronauts. And it's one Russian and one American going up, I believe. Well, let me see the names of these 2 individuals. Who's going to save the day? NASA's Nick Hague and Russia's Alexander, great name, Gorbanov. They're going to go retrieve them. Now, they talked about, I think it was Hague, that was like, there's going to be challenges here because usually, again, you train for a long time. You get to know the ins and outs of the rocket that you're going up in so that you know all the systems and you know how it works. And now they have to take 2 people that did not train on this.
Yep.
Now, these 2, it seems in the article, I'm not ironclad as I read it, they're going to do their 6-month term at the space station. So the 2 that they went to save are going to do the 6-month term. And for the reason being is that they have scheduled launches to go up to the space station every 6 months to relieve the others. So they don't want to mess up this rotation. Okay. So SpaceX is going up there. These 2 are going up there. And essentially, they're going to help keep the space station in order, do the research that they're supposed to do with these other 2 astronauts, and then they're going to bring them back home. And the challenge is going to be having to get these other 2 astronauts in tune with their rocket enough to actually be able to help with the crew. And these 2 astronauts that went up there are also 2 that they picked that obviously are very skilled because they're working at half capacity. Yeah. They left behind a veteran and a rookie that were there and continue to support it, support the launch. Obviously, they're probably disappointed that, here you go, NASA had to cut 2 astronauts from SpaceX launch to make room for the Dragon capsule for Wilmore and Williams on return to Earth. Let's see. Rookie NASA astronaut Xena Cardman and veteran space flyer Stephanie Wilson were pulled from this flight after NASA opted to go with SpaceX to bring the stuck astronauts home, promised a future space mission. Both were at NASA's Kennedy Space Station taking part in the launch live stream, and the 2 in space got to watch this on live stream, which is pretty dope. They're watching their saviors come to them. Yeah. Gorbanov remained in the on the flight under an exchange agreement from NASA, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's pretty dope that Xena and Stephanie are still supporting their fellow astronauts, even though obviously you're disappointed you don't get to go to space, especially for the woman, right? Xena was probably fucking pumped. She got to go to the space station.
Her name's Xena.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be on that space.
Yeah, like that, like space. You know, though, good for them to be able to, again, they're promised a future flight. Obviously, they're trained astronauts are ready to go. The one's a veteran. But, you know, always kudos to them. People like that when you're in these situations, like, because they could very well just be like, especially the veteran, like, no, fuck off. I'm going to go up there and do my job, right? But they took a sidestep, and I hope soon that they're in the next rotation, the next 6 months to go up there or to do something, because that's you know, you have a chance to go to space, you fucking take it, right?
You know, I saw like this slightly about the 2 being stranded, but I didn't really look into it because I was like, oh, that's crazy. I just didn't necessarily look very much into it because I didn't know it was going to happen. But what a surprise that it's Boeing.
And what a shot in the arm, right? Because it's like, it's so sad to see what's going on, because this is a company that's been trusted for decades, and they've been the choice airliner for planes. They've been the choice for assembling.
That's also how you end up being able to get away with it for a bit, and then you probably get complacent. You get the wrong people in the wrong spots, and
it helps that a bunch of former people from government are littered on your board. So, you know, you're getting a lot of the passes from the government because you have former senators and former congressmen and women that are sitting on your board of directors and things like that, and you're getting favors, and you're like, but here's the thing, Elon Musk has kicked in that door because what he's doing at SpaceX can't be denied. And what people like Richard Branson are doing at Virgin Mobile, and even fucking Bezos with Amazon, like they're all, what is that, Blue something? I forget what the Bezos is. He just launches dicks into space. But you know, those 3 are leading the charge in terms of the private sector. And since NASA I don't know if I know Trump refunded them for a little. I don't know if Biden defunded them because Obama defunded NASA because Obama's a dickhead. But, I don't know what their funding situation is right now, but it's pushing the threshold, right? Because now Boeing can't just sit there and rest and do fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
You have 3 other competitors with godlike money that are willing to build, and Bezos is constantly feeding that. Branson, Virgin Mobile is still very popular, and the whole Virgin company is still very lucrative for Richard Branson, and obviously Elon Musk with Twitter and Boring Company and all the things that he does. So, and Tesla is a huge one. So these individuals are going to keep competing with NASA and obviously working with them because there's law that they have to go by and things like that. But Boeing now is not the company of choice. And now their mistakes, which if it was just Boeing on its own, Dave, and this happened and it was another Boeing rocket going up there, it's another Starliner, they get another shot, right? They'll get another shot to make it right. And they'll go and they'll pick up their astronauts. They'll be like, it was successful. Okay, went up and went down. Mistake, right? We had one mishap. All the astronauts are safe. We're fine. But now it sends a glaring hole because when Boeing fucks up, Elon steps up and says, hey, I got a rocket ready to go. We'll go save them ahead of schedule. And that is crazy. That's crazy. So it's something that...
Did they ask Ukraine if it was okay to work with Putin? Probably not.
I mean... I think this is also something that's agreed upon when it comes to space, that wars don't matter. I think that's something that it supersedes what's going on the surface when it comes to going into space, because we have the agreement. And honestly, Russia's number 2 in terms of space, and they have been for a long time. And we work with them. We worked with them very closely at the space station. And it seems like China's about to step into that fracas too, because they're really excelling their space program as well. So, I mean, it's something to keep an eye on. I definitely want to make sure, keep an eye on this and see if there's any news that comes up in terms of the success or not success or things like that. But I just found this interesting and hoping that all 4 astronauts come home safe, because they do some badass stuff. The space station's cool. I've always been fascinated with the space station, basically, and just to know, astronauts are so much more than just people that go to space or scientists. They're going up there for research and helping us learn a bunch of shit all the time. So really cool stuff. And hopefully they all get back. Not cool if they're stranded, but get the fuck out.
Really cool that they're left up there.
Really cool. They can go fuck themselves. All 4 of them now get caught. All right. So we got a few more things to jump in, Dave. I did not talk about Greta Thunberg yesterday. We're going to talk about Greta Thunberg today.
Why?
Because Greta Thunberg.
Why does she have any presence still?
She has a new mission. She is saving the planet by siding with Palestine and fighting big oil for Palestine. We ready to watch her super intelligent 1 minute and 9 clip?
It is no surprise that she is siding with Palestine.
We are, she is going to battle Chevron.
Oh boy, here we go.
For evil Palestine. And this is coming to us from Ian Miles Chung with this video here. It was everywhere, but I'd rather play it from Ian than other people. All right, let's go, Greta. You're on.
In Palestine and all over the world, the fight against colonialism and corporations' destruction of the planet are intrinsically linked.
All right, real quick. She's 21. Does she look 21?
The issue is never the issue. The issue is the revolution.
But is she 21? This chick looks like she's still...
Because she's trying to look young. Because that was her time of fame. That's what people resemble her as. She's trying to look young. Those that help her put on this whole production try to make her look young.
Yeah, so let's keep going here.
Look at Chevron. Everyone knows that Chevron is one of the world's biggest climate criminals. But the oil giant is also fueling Israel's genocide in Palestine. As Israel bombs hospitals, homes, and schools in Gaza, Chevron supplies them with energy from 2 Israeli-claimed gas fields in the Mediterranean.
So, real quick, she's so concerned with fossil fuels that she's going to side with one of the groups of people that directly benefit from OPEC. If there wasn't if they weren't any contradictions,
it's just such a stupid thing, because look at what she just said. They provide energy to Israel. That doesn't just mean
for war.
Their military efforts. That means all of their energy. So like her argument is we should cut off all of their supplies in totality.
Remind you, she also demanded that we switch to solar and wind now, and she would have caused billions of deaths. She was okay with the genocide of billions, including the poorest in the world.
Yes.
So let's continue here.
Making millions in the process. Ending Israel's genocide in Gaza and Israeli apartheid is a climate justice issue. Israel is destroying Palestinian lives, but also destroying Palestinian lands and resources through its warfare and industries.
So I'll stop right there. What did she have to say about fucking Hamas digging up the soil underneath to create giant tunnels? That wasn't destroying places?
No. That's about fighting back against their oppressors. So they have to do that.
And she doesn't know what these words mean. She doesn't know any of these words mean.
Probably not.
All right, let's finish this up here.
That pollutes and destroy the environment.
I understand why Pat Gray can't get through fucking clips, man. Let's keep going.
Not stand by and do nothing. I'm joining Palestinian global calls to boycott Chevron. Together we are calling for Chevron to withdraw human projects from Israel. Join the movement to defend human rights and protect the planet by pledging to boycott Chevron now.
Here's the thing, too. There are Palestinian people, but there is no Palestine. That's like saying that the gypsies have a home state. No, they don't. They're fucking gypsies. They're gypsy people, but they do not have a home state. Palestine and Palestinians have been mobile people in that region for a long time because nobody fucking wants them. Okay. And Israel, which was created, I get it. People make that argument. It was recreated after a war. Israel was a place beforehand, though. It was a promised land. It was an actual territory and a nation state at one time. They have been gracious enough to let these psychos live next to them and have continued to live under fire for their whole existence. Here's my thing. I personally don't give a fuck about the war. I don't. Okay? Israel could defend themselves. If Palestinians want to fucking bomb them, let's do it, okay? You guys could do whatever the hell you want in that region. But I just hate the claiming of playing the victim. I fucking hate that stuff, Dave.
Well, and the most annoying thing about everything these people, every time they bring up human rights, and they're diluting the phrase human rights consistently. Because now anytime anyone that's even close to their ideology brings up human rights, people are going to start swatting that away completely. And there is some good behind the phrase of actually having rights, and the fact that they're diluting it annoys me to no end. Also, Nate just said Georgia, Alabama is getting nuts. Of course.
Yeah, I heard that. It's even in our group, our boy Colton Gesser, who Play Action Podcast.
41-34. Oh, my God.
Oh, shit. Oh, God, I hope Alabama loses. And if Alabama loses, everyone go switch to DJ Corbett's CobraCast because he's going to be going he's probably going nuts now. Stay with us until the game's over. But once the game's over, if Bama ends up losing, go there because you will probably see rants on as proportions with Starfield him fucking going crazy because he's a massive Bama fan. But yeah, no, that's insane how close that game is. But yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Overall, it is what it is, right? It's just, I don't know. She just needs a new cause, and she knows she's coming out of it. She's coming out of the limelight. She needs a new cause to stay relevant.
She's been out of the limelight. She's been getting herself taken away in protests to try to drum up the whole picture of her getting taken away. And it's really funny because I've seen some of those and people are just comment on her titties every time, which is hilarious.
What about her titties?
Because she actually it's all, you have to see it because I fucking follow Siraj and all those people.
Oh God, yeah, but the list comes for everyone. Okay,
yeah. So
the fucking Habibi bros.
But yeah, no, she has lost all of her reputation. No one really liked her in the first place. So what else is going to happen?
What are her parents doing now that they can't milk off of her?
They're the ones that are still probably pushing her to do this. Is she
still giving them money?
I don't know.
That documentary is going to be great when she comes out and was like, I was forced to believe all of this.
I don't think she'll do that.
Oh, could you imagine if Greta becomes fucking red-pilled?
That's not happening.
Give me red-pilled Greta. Someone needs to talk to her. You know what? We need Ian Crossland to go talk to Greta Thunberg. He would to just go to a graphene cause.
I am not allowing that. I refuse to allow that. I don't care if she says every single correct thing. I'm not going to accept it. And I will say she's not a part of any kind of right-wing thing ever.
That's exactly how I feel about Tulsi and RFK, but we could talk about that another day. All right. We're going to go to the last few topics. We're going to jump into sports real quick because I'm tired of Greta. Okay. So quickly, I want to give a shout out to our boy, Coach Defense and the New Egypt Warriors going to 4-0. They defeated Keyport. They romped them. And I'm happy for him. Our high school teams that we followed, they were doing fucking great. Manchester yesterday got the win. I talked about that with Coach Farrell. They're completely in the driver's seat for C-South, and I'm excited for that. They got to get past Lakewood. Rivalry game. Should not overlook Lakewood at all. They have Rumson Fairhaven coming up, number 2 team in the state this week, so they're going to try and shock the world. But just New Egypt, Keyport was supposed to be a tougher game. Is one of their individuals that they battle with them all the time. Mm-hmm. And, like we said, Coach Fentz said a bunch of us, he was, they're trying to get those rivalries. They are trying to establish those rivalries. This is one of the teams that they want to establish a rivalry. And this is not a nice way to do it. Because they absolutely trounced. Let me get that final score.
Sometimes you beat up on your rivals.
20-6. They absolutely, after a tight win with 7-6 against Neptune. Obviously, the new defense.
You need to enunciate a little better, Alex. You need to enunciate a little bit better.
Keyport. Keyboard would be a fucking sweet name.
It's the pop filter.
It is. It's a pop filter, but it's also I'm trying to look at things while I'm doing it. Sorry, Nate. Keyport. Keyport. Here, I'll put it up.
I wish there was a high school team named Keyboard.
I will put it up in the lower third, just so people do not get it confused. Yeah, where you going? Ready? There it is. Keyport. It's right there in the lower third for those keeping score at home.
I do not see it.
No, you didn't see it in the lower third. Boom! It's right. It's right underneath me.
There it is. Yeah. There. Now I see it.
All right. So happy for Coach Fentz and those boys over there. I want them, continue success. They're just in the short conference fully now, and they look like they belong. Mm-hmm. So 4-0. I'm excited for that. Going on to another 4-0 team, Dave. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights are 4-0 for the first time since 2012. And that was when they shared the Big East title. Now, are they going to go and win the Big Ten? No, they are not. Okay. No, they're not. They arguably have the best running back in the country with Kyle Guy. Yep. He's fantastic. They know who they are. They run the football. I cannot say this kid's name. I'm going to bring up the box score here. Ethan Kalakmanis.
If I can do it.
But here's the thing. He's playing good ball. He makes the throws he needs to make. He doesn't have to be prolific. We have a great wide receiver at Rutgers and Ian Strong. And I'm really happy with them going 4-0. And here's the thing with them going 4-0 that people need to understand, because yes, it's just Rutgers, right? But from being a person growing up in Jersey, liking Rutgers and things like that, I'm a Florida State fan too. We don't talk about Florida State though; they don't exist.
What do you mean? What's going on with them?
They don't exist. But from following Rutgers, they're not beating your Connecticut's anymore. They're not beating your, these smaller teams, Temple and things like that. No knock on Connecticut and Temple, right? Mm-hmm. They're just not Big Ten teams. They're not power teams. Rutgers just beat Washington Huskies. 2 years ago, the Washington Huskies were in the national championship talk, okay? They have a new coach. They have a new thing going on, but they're still a good team. They were 3-1 coming into this game.
Yep.
They beat Virginia Tech last week, who almost beat Miami on a Hail Mary call that got overturned. And Miami is one of the teams that is favored to get into the playoffs and make some noise. So it's not like Rutgers is beating cream puff teams right now.
Oh. Nate, coming in next week, your team versus mine, Rutgers versus Nebraska.
And that's also Keith Malinak's team.
Yeah.
And I texted Keith saying we're not friends next week.
What, did he say anything?
And he laughed at it and he says, good luck for your season, sir. But Shiano has the Jersey touch. But the Big Ten is so stacked this year. Listen, I will give my criticism of Greg Schiano. Greg Schiano does not develop quarterbacks, okay? And that bothers me. And I get it. This kid that came over, Athen Kalikamadika, I don't know. He's a graduate transfer. But that's not Schiano's priority. He doesn't develop quarterbacks, but he needs to. Because you're in the Big Ten.
Pound the rock, baby.
And here's the thing. If this kid could just make enough throws, if he just does what he's doing right now, gets around 150, makes 3-4 throws.
Mark Sanchez, make enough throws.
Even Mike Teal, because Mike Teal at that time was just a guy that made enough throws. He wasn't doing anything prolific. He just made a few throws, and that was it.
I do have one quick question for Nate, because I don't watch Nebraska. How is Raiola? Like I've seen him play. I've seen some plays from
Mahomes 2.0, baby.
Yeah, I know. Exactly he looks exactly like Patty.
He looks exactly like Patty.
but I haven't seen enough of him. Like, how is he throughout the duration of games? I do have a question about that. But sorry, go ahead. Keep going, Rutgers.
He was solid at Minnesota, and Minnesota's a tough team. And that's the thing, and I agree with you. The Big Ten is incredibly stacked. It's nice to see Nebraska back, because I grew up with Eric Couch and the Cornhuskers just being an absolute perennial powerhouse. And I think it's sad that Nebraska has not gotten the recruiting classes that they've needed to get. So, when Nebraska's good, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, and now obviously Washington coming in, UCLA, USC, like the Big Ten is insane right now.
What about the Pac-12, man?
Hey, they got 4 more teams. More teams, okay. And here's the thing: they are going to turn into. They're not going to be a Power 5, but we're not going to get a. It's not going to be a Big 5 anymore. It's going to be a Big 6 underneath.
It is 4th and 2, by the way.
Huh?
I have the game on while you're talking. It is 4th and 2 right now for Georgia.
Where are they at?
Left. 47, 48.
This could be
Alabama's 48. He's the 3rd highest graded true freshman in the country and really good. Okay. That says a lot about Raiola.
That says a lot. And you know what's nice? I think, wasn't he the highest? I think he was the number 1 draft pick, number 1 recruit out of the country this year. And he went to Nebraska. So
top QB in his class, mentored by Mahomes, the Godfather's Matt Stafford. Yeah, he's a lot of things going for him. Right there. Also, Georgia completed 4th and 2. They're rolling right now.
Wow.
Sorry, go ahead. Keep
that
going.
Could get interesting. But yeah, so I am happy where Rutgers is. Schiano's doing things. He's getting them when they are chopping away. It makes me really happy to see. And yeah, the thing is, we've known it, Dave. If you look around the NFL, there's a lot of guys that play on Sundays that go to Rutgers throughout the last 20 years.
Super Bowl champions that played at
Super Bowl champions that play on Rutgers. And like you look at guys like Kyle Monunga is going to play on Sundays. Ian Strong has a good chance of playing on Sundays. He's a really good receiver. And then even you look on defense, Robert Longerbeam is going to be a top corner in the NFL. If not top, but he's going to play there. There's so many individuals here that play on Sundays, and it's just nice to see that they're putting it together for a year. Now, it could go downhill. We could see them lose out, and they only win these 4, right? But I don't think we're going to see that. It's going to be fun against Nebraska. They have to go to Nebraska, tough environment, but they're going to muck it up. They're going to, they're going to play tough football.
They're going to make you hate the game. That's what Rutgers wants to do. Wants to make you hate playing against them.
And here's the thing. The score is probably not going to reflect that game, because if Nebraska wins, it's probably going to be like 31-14 or 31-17.
Yeah, they're going to break
it. But it's going to be one of those things where it's 14-17 up until the 4th, and Nebraska's talent just overtakes Rutgers' exhaustion. They can't get Monunga running like they want to. And
Dad's a Husker legend, played center for Detroit Lions for a long time. That's awesome. That's really good then.
That's great. Listen,
it's legacy.
Nate.
That's Randy Orton.
After next week, next week we're going to be enemies, okay? But after that game, I'm just still going to be happy to see the Cornhuskers back, because like I said, I think Big Ten is better when Nebraska's playing well, because they are a legendary school. Yes. And, at least coming up from the 90s, not maybe historically, but from the 90s when I was watching it, I loved seeing Nebraska just being good. So I'm happy. And I'm happy Rutgers is playing well. So that is my Rutgers shout. And obviously shout out to one of our friends and legend over at Rutgers, Kevin Malice. Obviously he's pumped for everything going on there. So, all right. So let's keep it in college football. And I think this is our last topic of the night, Dave. We're going to keep it in college football, because we're going to talk about the NIL, and we are going to talk about a situation that is going on right now. And we're over 2 hours. Jesus, I didn't realize that.
Keep it going. Keep pushing.
Keep it going. Keep pushing. Once we get past a certain mark, we could say what we want. I say what I want anyway. So, situation. Matthew Stuka, UNLV quarterback, transfer from Holy Cross.
Is it Sluka or Sluka?
Sluka. I like to think of Superfly Jimmy Snuka, so I say Sluka. So, he is quitting UNLV.
Yes.
And saving his eligibility, apparently, because he was promised $100,000 in endorsements through the NIL by an assistant coach, and they have not paid up yet. Now, I get it. Okay. I get it from the kid's perspective. He's not an NFL prospect. He's not going to go play next level. He went to a Division I. What's the next level? It's not. What are they called?
What?
It's not the Power Four, but what's underneath?
Group of 5.
Group of 5. So he went to a Group of 5 conference, which does get NIL money. They get offers. And UNLV is, they're not a great football team, but they're a good team. Yeah, they play on ESPN and things like that. So he was going to get a chance at getting exposure, and 100K is 100K. It's a good chunk of change. He hasn't seen any of it. And it was promised to him. And his response is he's sitting out. He's sitting out, and now he wants to transfer to a Power 4 school. I don't know what the rules are, okay?
I want to correct you on it, but Pac-12 is not a thing anymore. So
it isn't.
It is Power 4. You're right, but it fucks me up every time you say it. Yeah,
it is weird, and it's gonna make the 12-team playoff more interesting now, because now you're going to see the conference champions from the best 6, and it's going to be guaranteed from the Power 4.
He's running back to the same thing, and a D lineman from USC just pulled his own red shirt.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Nate, I love having you here, man. You keep us honest. But so Stuka's agent, Marcus Cromartie, which I wonder if he's familiar with Antonio, said his client decided to sit out the rest of the season over $100,000 NIL payment that was promised by an assistant coach after he agreed to transfer to Rebels last winter. No written contract was ever put in place, Cromartie said. An effort to set up a payment plan was unsuccessful. So
Alabama just picked Carson Beck off man zone.
That might be it.
Yep.
But here's the thing. It was no written contract was put in place. And this is the problem here. If you are Stuka's agent, I don't know how to say his last name, how do you let this kid transfer with no written contract?
Yep.
That is the problem here. And that's the thing. And I think the NCAA is going to look at this and maybe side with UNLV. Because if he had something in writing saying, hey, we're going to make sure you get this NIL, we're promising it to you, blah, 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 cool. But the fact that he didn't have a written contract, I think really doesn't work in his favor, Dave.
No, it doesn't. It, in fact, screws him completely. I think him doing this doesn't help him at all. I think UNLV is going to be completely fine after this, especially because the quarterback under him looks fine. So none of this helps him. In fact, it just makes him look worse. Because, look, you could agree with the school about them helping you get the NIL deal, but the whole thing is about you being able to pursue that with your own likeness as well.
Yeah.
So you need to be charismatic and good enough in order to be able to get that money.
Yes.
And it comes down to you as well. So there's no written contract. There's nothing agreement of them helping him get to that level. So he's completely screwed himself, and him walking away doesn't help. Now, maybe he showed enough that he gets picked up by a school, but does he get picked up by a school that he can play well there and then get money? That's a lot. That's a lot to think that might not happen. You had a good thing with UNLV, and you possibly could have gotten up there, especially because, they just rolled today. They probably would have rolled with him, and they're undefeated right now.
Yes, they are. I'm just going through some of this stuff, and it's interesting that this situation is such a fucking mess. They kind of just unrolled this, and it sounds, listen, it's good. Kids are being able to get their, profit off their name, image, likeness. Has nothing really to do with the schools, but this is part of the problem. Give schools guaranteeing NIL deals. So it is a part of the schools, and this now falls onto the boosters, right? Because the boosters still play a part. What booster assured this kid or assured that assistant coach that he can make this offer and then pulled it. Because that's usually what it comes to, is a booster knows that he's working with the group or he's a part, or he owns a company, and that's going to be a thing. It's like Dave Portnoy made the announcement that for Michigan, he will make sure they always have a top 10 quarterback. He will pay the NIL. He doesn't give a fuck. He will guarantee the NIL money so they can recruit a top 10 or they can get a top 10 transfer every single time, because Dave Portnoy wants him to have a quarterback. But that's the problem here.
Yes.
Dave Portnoy is guaranteeing a kid, and that's openly nationally. There has to be some sort of tampering there. Because now a Michigan kid knows if I'm a transfer, I mean, if I say Beck over in Georgia does not have a ton of, he's thinking about pros. Maybe they think he might need another year. He transfers to Michigan because he knows Dave Portnoy is going to give him a cool $1 million. Tell me Michigan wouldn't take a transfer right there. That's your quarterback. You're winning another national title for Michigan, right? Like, they might bring you there because you have everything else but the quarterback right now. So the NCAA has to make a few more rules. They really have to look into a lot of things about the NIL.
Well, I mean, it becomes the whole situation with NIL has become difficult now, and there's possibility that there is a lot of wrong that happened opening this up the way it has, and it's not helping college football. I'll tell you that, and it's really not helping the players playing college football.
No. And again, it is tipping the scales in the favor of massive schools again, more than it did before. Because yes, boosters had a big role, and the big schools had big coffers in their boosters and stuff. But you still had kids that had like some pride in their area, so they stayed in the small school and they wanted to show. And kids that would go D2 because it was the best that they had at the time and things like that. But now you're looking at kids that are like, "Where's my best NIL opportunity?" And that's, to me, I think that I get it. You want to get paid on your talent, but so we'll see. If he transfers again, he won't be able to play till next year, but maybe a team takes a flyer on him. Who knows? But I think this kind of shows the issue.
I think this screws
with the NIL.
I think this screws him completely. I don't think it's going to work out for him. I'm not going to lie to you. I just don't think it's going to work out for him at all. Yeah. I think you stay at UNLV, you work up to whatever. You might not be happy, but play throughout the rest of the season, then you could transfer somewhere.
Yeah.
You have to show a lot more than what you show.
But he can't. He's on his final year of eligibility. He can't transfer.
Never mind.
That's why he made that decision, because if you appear,
you're right.
So he's kind of rolling the dice here and hoping that his play at Holy Cross and the UNLV rolling today didn't help him.
Nope.
Because
it actually trying to hurt him tragically.
And he was like, but if UNLV starts sucking the rest of the year, then it's going to help him immensely.
Yep.
Because then it's going to be like, okay, he was the cog that made that offense tick, and maybe a bigger school will take a shot on him. So who knows? We'll monitor this one too to see how well this one works out for Superfly Matthew Stuka. Yep. And that's going to be his new. If that wasn't his nickname before, then it's a travesty, and nobody should ever pick this kid up. His nickname should be Superfly. But anyway, Dave, do you have anything else? Anything else on your little run that you want to talk about?
No, that's about it. I'm all good.
I could have a rant about homeschooling, but I'm not going to do it.
We went for a while already.
Yes. And before we roll out, I do want to just make a note of, again, the Epstein client list. We need it. We need it. I'm going to bring that bell every episode, or try to at least once a day. We need that NIL. Not that NIL. That Epstein client list. Client list. I was just talking about the fucking NIL. We need the Epstein client list because we need to bring these rich and powerful people that rape little girls to justice, period. I'm putting it in plain English. It's a travesty that we don't have it. And I'm going to move on to, we need the people that were at Diddy's parties, because he keeps a guest list. And we need the people that went to Diddy's island. All these things need to come to light, and we need to keep demanding it. And I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be an asshole about it all the fucking time.
Yep.
It's one thing. And also, I mentioned yesterday, and I'm just going to quickly talk about it today. Everyone needs to stand with Alex Jones. Alex Jones is an open invite to come on the show. I've openly said, hey, I'm not a big Alex Jones guy, but what they're doing to him is fucking terrible. And his voice needs to remain being heard. And I said yesterday, he has a lot of friends that probably can host him and things like that. But if he ever just wants to get his voice to other people, Alex Jones is always welcome to jump on the show as many times as he wants as they try to take his voice out. We will continue to sit here and be a spot where he can keep his voice heard. So, Alex, if you're ever listening, if you ever want to jump in here, we're doing one of these, Twitter, X, DM me and just be like, hey, send me the link. You're
incredible.
You're welcome to come in. This is a space for you to not be silenced because I do not give a fuck about these type of people that are trying to take you down. And I'm willing to stand up with you and with anybody else that's willing to defend people with free speech and let you be heard, whether I agree with you or disagree with you. You have the right to be heard, and millions of people listen to you for a reason, and they shouldn't be denied that right to listen to you either. So outside of that, Dave, we've gone. It's 11:38. It's almost midnight. Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So we appreciate that. Do we have a final verdict with the Bama game yet?
Yes, Bama won.
Bama won. Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to hear Bama is the undisputed number one team in the country now. That's definitely going to happen. They held off the team that was the runaway champions, and even though the champions stormed back, Alabama showed the heart of a champion. I can't wait. What was it? Paul Feinbaum. God, he's going to come in a fucking elephant costume with some elephant dick in his mouth, just being like, Bama!
I think McAfee picked Bama today on College Game Day to win.
That's fine. Listen, picking people is fine.
I know.
He's such an SEC shill. He has no credibility. I do not like Paul Feinbaum has zero credibility. He's such a shill.
Didn't Feinbaum just torch Saban when he started? We don't need to go into it. I'm pretty sure he did. I might be wrong.
Probably did. I mean, it's okay to torch people
because as much as he's an SEC shill, he's more of just a Southern boy that he wants to see the Southern teams do well. Because I think he did the same thing to Florida, but he loved them either way. We don't need to keep going.
We don't need to get in. Maybe we'll do a Feinbaum thing. We'll research a little more. Maybe we'll do something. But yeah, Nate, always good to see you here. Yes. Anyone else that wants to comment as well, go fight with Nate. It's fun.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. But yeah, we always appreciate the comments. We're gonna roll out of here. If you're watching on YouTube, like we always say, give us a like. Follow the show, spread it word of mouth. We'll be back here probably tomorrow night again. I will definitely be. Dave, if Dave's going off doing Dave things, I don't know. But I'll be back here. We'll be talking about some more stuff. If you're watching on X, we appreciate that as well. Give us a repost and a retweet. Fuck repost. Give us a retweet. And again, spreading this word of mouth. And on Facebook, give us a follow there. We appreciate all you. We'll be back tomorrow and we'll have some more fun.
Yep.
Later, y'all.
See ya.